to Cast of Players, the Chronicles of Valtor. We're on episode 19 now.
Lucky for Sam.
Is it? Is it?
It's for me.
Could be.
I mean, it would be for you because that's your.
That's what I always say.
That's your crit range.
Oh yes, that's actually very true.
Yeah.
See, I knew that. That's why I said.
Yeah.
You didn't know that.
Very good.
No.
Very, very good.
I had no clue.
So this is the continuation of our story. Let's get straight into it, shall we? Now, previously on Cast of Players, our adventurers had fought their way through the Twisted Manor, defeating the mutated Herians and the drugged humans that had been subjected to the experiments of the former scholar Darius Arlanti, and the apparent current ally of the being known as Galen. Now, Anrakai had held against an onslaught of guards as Luco, Erevan and Griffin dealt with the freshly mutated Herian before they ventured upstairs further to deal with the master of the house. On the way, they freed his daughter, Lycia, but even her words were not enough to change her father's mind. His conviction was set in stone and his madness apparent. This was evidenced by the corpse of his wife that he had exhumed and repaired with body parts from those unfortunate enough to have been captured and found suitable. Darius was seemingly willing to die for his work, and despite his warning that the innocents that he had used for his work would die without him and his aid, he and the facsimile of his wife were put to the sword, and the madness of this place put to rest. The group then acquired a number of magical items from the Arlanti's vault. Lycia did not object to their taking, having been relics of a happier time. On their way out, they returned to Elaine, the woman trapped by magic near the entrance of the house. Luco, in his anger at what had happened to his people, let slip of the harvesting of dragon scales from the kitchen in the basement, despite Griffin's concerns of Elaine's true nature.
Babu.
With apprehension, the group released the woman from her entrapment and set loose the wormlings that were locked in the basement. Despite their crime, Elaine did not wish to add more death to the manor and offered clemency, their lives in exchange for freeing hers and her children's. As the group left towards the caravan, a great roar of magic and fire erupted from the manor grounds, and a vast draconic shape was seen bursting from the tree line, disappearing towards the mountain range of the Backbone. With the caravan uprighted, although with one of the drivers succumbing to his wounds, the group continued on their travels to Erenshire, on the outskirts of the Forlorn Grove. A mere hour later they had arrived, the town quiet and dour. They were greeted by the elder of the village, Johann Randall, a crippled man who offered his food in half to the group, an offer that was eagerly accepted. Just before dinner, the group parted ways with Lycia, who agreed it would be best for her to travel back to Greyhold with the caravan in the morning, and then she would set southwards home. She asked the group not to repeat their experience in her childhood home, and bade them farewell. Eating with Johann, he revealed some of the history of the town. Much of their livelihood in years past came from mystical trees known as jade beech. With lightweight and strong wood, nourishing fruit and healing sap, Erenshire lived in harmony as caretakers of the Jade Grove, as it was once known. The coming of a group of cultists, some 40 years ago, so they say, or as the tale goes, saw the corruption and disease of the grove and the land around it. Over a decade ago, Johann's father and his two older brothers, fit and able unlike himself, ventured with the last of the village hunters into the grove to deal with the corruption, but, like all others before and since, did not return. Erenshire has had some semblance of a revival since Johann took over as elder, but the village is still dying, and the blight of the grove spreading further and further still, every day. He warned them that the grove would be a death sentence to them, but he would not stop them from entering, if that was their choice. And their choice it was, needing to find the sap of the boneroot inside. Morning came, and the party set out at the break of dawn, venturing into the darkness of the feared forest for what would be the second time in the span of a week, entering into a dark, overgrown, and, by all accounts, incredibly dangerous area of woodland. Such is the life of adventurers. Soon they found themselves drawn to a clashing of steel and wood, crying of combat, finding an Istari, one of the elven people, locked in struggle with a Dasam, one of the dwarves of the Neelan Republic. The elf called out to the group for aid, stating that the dwarf had gone mad and lost his mind. The dwarf in turn accused the elf of deceit and witchery and moved to cut her down, but the group intervened. He snarled at them and vowed to end the curse of this place before he slipped into the tree lines and disappeared. The elf introduced herself as Ornelli, at least in Elvish and only to Erevan, much to the chagrin of the others of the group. Eventually she did revert to common, and she revealed that her and her companion, Reaver the dwarf, were members of a scholars group that had ventured into the woods in an effort to cure the disease of the place. But alas, they were set upon and cut down by denizens of the forest. These same creatures soon made themselves aware to the group, hideous tree beasts that ambushed them, tearing at their flesh with jagged claws of wood and assaulting their minds with the screams of the damned. They were cut down, but not before revealing their horrific nature. Beneath the bark of the humanoid shape was a desiccated humanoid, deathly flesh, drained and taut over bone, still breathing and alive, apparently, the dark fuel and sustenance for these monstrous plants. As the last of the creatures fell, the group were met by a deep echoing groan in the distance, like that of a mighty beast crying out in pain, or perhaps anger. And that is where we return. So currently the ground is damp with moisture, a mix of dew clinging to the blades of grass, fighting for the light that struggles to break through the tree line. The dirt is slick with the slimy sap of the plant corpses that now lie strewn amongst the clearing, and the sound of rustling leaves and shifting vines flow around you. Part of the forest shifts slightly, moving away and apart from the prison that encased you. As the movement stops, you realise there are two breaks in the tree line, a wider canopy in the direction of the groan that you heard scant seconds ago, at a guess of your position to the northeast, and a smaller one to what you presume is the west. The makeshift path that you followed into this clearing, following it to the clashing of Ornelli and her companion, is now nothing more than great trees and wads of vines and branches tightly packed together, as is much of the clearing. Your companion picks herself up from the floor, the heat from the beam of sunlight that she called forth in battle dissipating, the glow from her eyes fading to that of the normal speckled irises of the Istari people.
It seems the way that we've come from is no longer there. Enrikai says, looking back to what is now just a tree line.
This place is a curse. Everything around us means to harm us. Where do we go now?
Ornelli, you mentioned that you might know the way.
I have an inkling, but it's not certain in a place like this.
Well, your inkling is better than anything that we have. Which path?
Do we head towards the smaller path enclosed by vines, or do we head down the path leading towards whatever made that horrible sound?
We head towards the mushrooms. That's what we're here for, right? You said it lays towards the centre of the grove.
Not,
you have an idea?
Not the mushrooms.
Bone root.
You're looking for the bone root sap.
Ah, the bone root sap, yeah.
Obviously your character would know that.
Yeah.
And Mackay said the bone root sap.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it is right.
So you're heading towards, so you want to head
Smart
towards
guy.
the bone root. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, the mushroom's supposed to be in the mind, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how do we get to the centre of this place? You said that you came near it last time?
That's as far as I could get, and as close as possible as I could get, but then I was chased down and accosted by both these things and by my erstwhile companion. It is hardly a reference point as it were, to find the centre when the place is constantly shifting and changing.
So you don't remember how to get back there then?
It's not a case of not remembering, it's a case of I could take you there and it would be entirely different to what it was.
Is there anything that would suggest, sort of seeing the plants and the roots and things like that, sort of a direction of a central point where it's coming from? Like if we look on the ground, are there any signs of...
Could you make an investigation check for me, please?
I could. I'd love to. It'd be my pleasure. There's a 12.
It's in the wrong tray.
There's a 12.
12 again. Nice.
The dice gods have spoken.
And so shall it be done.
It is cursed.
Cursed, I tell you. As you explore the clearing, you do notice that there is a small green stem forcing its way out of the blighted earth. The bud at the end slowly unfurls into a pale yellow rose. The splash of colours are at odds with the bleakness of the rest of the forest. The sapling turns slowly, the flower seeming to move towards the direction of the western path and away from the grown. You begin to see small brown vines slowly wrapping around the base of this sapling, creeping millimetre by millimetre at first, and the plant almost yearns to uproot and head down this western path, before suddenly the faint snap of newly grown stem echoes near your ears. A spray of fresh plant matter mists into the air as the flowering plant breaks into two, the brown vines dragging their quarry down into the dirt, swarming over it until the green and yellow disappear under a sea of brown.
So I've been kneeling down on the ground, sort of investigating this happening. I sort of look up to the rest. I think we go this way, but...
Why?
So I'll just explain what he just said.
Verbatim.
Yeah.
Okay. And Mackay nods.
So this is away from the groans and stuff you said.
So the groans came from the more sort of northeasterly direction.
Remind me, did they sound like people or were they
The
animalistic?
groan was essentially...
West, we go west.
We're not going that way. Okay? Do you understand that?
That sounds awful.
Do you though?
Yeah. Not going west?
Yeah.
No, we are going west. Not going north.
You are going west, okay. As you approach the western path, peering down it, you see another yellow flower rising from the ground. And the groan from the northeast comes again, as if in response. It feels as if the blackened trees are closing in, trying to bar the way, creaking as they do, the opening slowly closing. The rose at the path's entrance pulled down like the one before. And further down the winding trail, some 100 feet, another faint yellow dot pushes through the deadwood and the dead tree of the earth.
And we can all see this.
Something's trying to keep us out. We must go quickly. However, I'm not sure how we'll be able to get out afterwards.
Perhaps we should light torches. Wood doesn't like fire. If it wants to mess with us, well, it'll get burnt.
The
Great line.
branches continue to slowly close in, making this pathway smaller and smaller.
Right, start heading down. I just start striding very quickly along the pathway. I don't believe we have much time.
Would it be reasonable to actually move and light a torch or not?
Yeah, you can do that as all sort of part of a...
So
a single
Griffin
action.
does that.
Okay.
Sure, cool.
Right.
Yeah, so you'd all have a light.
And so if he feels anything closing in, he holds the torch against it. Just
And do they kind of like or something like react
They
to
don't
it,
necessarily move away at this, but they sort of almost halt in their progress. As you're sort of entering the pathway, could you all make a dexterity saving throw for me, please? Griffin, you can make that at advantage because you've just lit a torch.
okay, very good. So let me. So I rolled a 12 and a 7, so obviously I get a 12.
Yep.
Do I add...
You'd add any dexterity proficiency if
so
you're...
plus 7, I believe, is...
yeah, because as a rogue you are proficient in dexterity.
Yeah, so that's 19.
19. You're fine.
Lucky for some.
A cast of play has been brought to you by the number 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
7.
7. Any dex bonuses?
5, right? Make it 12. Yeah.
Yes, plus 2, so 9.
Okay.
Do you get athletics?
No, this is just a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, saving throw. Okay.
Copy that.
11. Plus 1 for my dex, so 12.
Okay.
12.
Can I charm?
I'll be on that all day.
Charm the branches away.
Your saplings are lovely.
Ooh. Rolled a 9. Plus I get a bonus of 2, which makes 11.
Okay. As you're making your way through, you do feel the occasional almost like stroke of a branch, sort of on shoulders, on like the napes of your neck, around ankles, or on sort of the cloth of your clothes. For those of you that aren't wearing full armor, but you nothing else untoward.
Welcoming strokes, or
As
like, let's
opposed-
be friends kind of thing?
welcome.
Hey, Fred.
Tree beard over here.
Tree
But nothing untoward happens with these strokes.
I like to be referred to as beard grills.
Improvise, adapt, overcome. By the way.
Yeah. 10 experience points.
No.
Minus
Negative.
10.
Negative 10 for that.
that was Dad level 9,000.
I'm a level 9,000 dad.
Dad.
Right, so you... Come on. As you enter through this pathway, like I say, you feel these sort of strokes, almost caressing touches, but you either sort of shake it off or you move at a pace that's not enough for them to find any real grip on you. As you travel the path, more saplings push up through the dirt, only to be ensnared and dragged down. The groan again echoes again in the distance, further away from you now. And the oppressiveness of the trees does seem to be against you. After maybe 15 minutes of walking, you notice that the most recent sapling that you crossed was the last, and you have come to what is the closest to a dead end. The trees are still far enough apart for you to move through, but any semblance of a pathway has gone. Suddenly, you hear the telltale thud and chop of iron on wood, the same screams of the tree creatures that you fought, coming from the northwest of where you currently are. Another scream cries out, but is cut short and replaced by the sound of wood smashing and splintering. If you look to the northwest, you can see, through the gaps of the trees, live, dark figures skittering, weaving through the trunks towards these screams of sounds and chopping.
Luca unwraps his blade.
Perhaps it's our stunted, angry friend.
It could be the Neelan.
Or something worse.
Now, these groans of pain, are they groans of pain? Or do you know, well, I mean, you can generally discern if someone's in pain or if it's a different kind, do you know what I mean?
It's a bit more inhuman than I can make it sound.
Sure.
So
So-
it would be... I'll tell you what, can you make a nature check for me?
Okay. So I rolled a 4.
You can't discern whether it's pain, anger, a cry for help. It's just this...
It's just noise.
It's... yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So a griffin scratches his head.
I don't know.
Plays with his moustache a bit and kind of looks at you all.
Well, I suppose the only choice we have without a path is, do we turn towards the sound, or do we dance around it?
Another thud and scream gurgles on the wind, and almost in response to this, the branches of the black wooden trees that are in that direction slowly shift and reach towards each other as if, again, to bar your path. looking through.
I start moving towards the way which is trying to bar.
Okay. As you
and I light up a torch whilst doing so.
Cool. As you sort of get there and almost through the gloom, maybe 200 feet away, so past the edge of your torchlight is nothing but darkness, and then suddenly almost a ray of sunlight beaming down, and you can see even at this distance that some of the bark on the trees there is lighter, seemingly more alive, and begins to thin out into a clearing.
This way, I say to everyone.
Okay, could you all make another dexterity check for me, please?
At advantage again?
Yeah, you both have torches lit. You're leading the way with a torch, so actually you can all make it with advantage.
Awesome. Oh,
You're welcome, everyone.
marvellous.
Marvellous.
Okay, so I rolled a 16 and a 12, so that's 23 for me.
Okay. Erevan?
A 9 and a 6. So that's 11.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can I help you?
Okay. I got a 19 and a 13, so I'll take the 19 plus 120.
Okay.
That's all good. 13 and a, what's that, 15, which makes 17.
Okay. Leading the way, Amrakai sort of bats up and with
Hey,
the
you too.
torch. Griffin and Luco are not far behind. Ornelli sort of seems to slink through following your path. Erevan, as you're walking, you feel this grip of root and vine wrap around your leg and begins to press and crush. Could you make a strength check for me, please?
Yes. Need a better roll now. Yeah, it's a 3.
Okay.
Oh,
You
yeah.
take 1 point of piercing damage as the vines begin to punch through your boots and your
The stabby vine.
your leathers, your trousers. You are currently restrained,
Ah, that's concerning.
so you cannot move any further.
I've only got 3 hit points. Oh, no, I don't.
No, you don't.
No. I have 3 hit points.
But you are
Oh, no, I'm full
you
wound.
are currently restrained, and these vines are continuing to sort of crawl up and around your legs, your ankles.
Okay.
Do we?
Little help, please!
Yeah, I was just saying, we noticed, obviously,
Yeah.
I imagine we noticed this happen to
So
him.
Griffin sees this,
Mhm.
and he turns round, and he gets the torch and he holds it right up to
Okay.
these vines.
Could you make
Could you just cut it
attack roll for me, please?
Sure.
The vine is kind of
It's
in
not, again, I haven't like stabbed it with
Sure.
it. It's more like I'm trying to kind of ward it off, if that makes sense.
It's not budging. It's
Great
it's,
if you
it's
could-
found. It's sort of found a taste of something now.
Use a Totem anal. I was going
I think you use all the time.
Luca also starts heading towards him and kind of unsheathes his dagger.
Mhm.
And are you done? Or?
Well,
You just
no,
speak!
please, go ahead.
no, I'm gonna
No,
wait for you
it's
to do your
fine.
thing.
I was trying to, but that's fine. Please.
Amrakai, use your sword.
And Mackay just turns his head
Dagger
and then sees that it's you trapped and then just looks at
keep
you with
walking.
irritation.
I grabbed the door of pain bolt out, and where it's coming in from the ground, I just remove it.
Okay, cool. Make an attack roll for me, please.
Sure.
Torch and dagger.
So I rolled an 18.
Yeah, you slice straight through it. The vine sort of wraps around your leg still, but almost falls off. The root from the ground almost flicks back underground.
Jeez.
So
Mackay
Griffin
sees that.
just looks at you and says, "Be careful." And then he turns to everyone. The fire seems to be a deterrent, but once they have a hold of you, and we're going to start burning them, and I'm not sure how flammable they are. I didn't want to cast you into a pit of flame.
I appreciate that.
Then, just don't let them touch you.
I can vouch for that.
Come on, let's go.
Good.
When I sort of like take it off my leg, do I see anything interesting, or is it quite clearly just some horrible branch monster?
As you sort of pick it up, it almost falls apart in your hands. The root and the vine is obviously quite formed, but it's black and rotten. It shouldn't have the ability to have done have pierced anything. It should have, if anything. If you've ever trodden on like rotten bark, it just sort of.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you were to throw like rotten, almost compost at the wall, it just sort of splatters everywhere. It shouldn't be able to punch through leather.
Right.
This is completely at odds with what the physical makeup of it is.
So taking it off my leg, I just sort of throw it to the ground to just.
Yeah, it almost just not disintegrates, but it sort of splits open. It's just there's a bit of a stench of rotten wood.
Whatever this is, we must remove its core. It's rotten. It's filth. It can be killed.
Is it damp or dry?
Inside in general?
Well, like, yeah, the vegetation. Do you know, because you've got rotting, it's quite damp generally. But
it's a strange mix. Some of the parts of the trees in the woods are damp, rotting. There's quite almost a muggy air of moisture to it.
Yeah.
Other parts that have only just started to show the beginnings of this blight are still sort of quite dry for wood.
Fine.
Okay, so yeah, so it's clearly some kind of blight. It doesn't just feel like a rainforest like it normally would.
No.
There's something definitely wrong with the place.
Yeah. There's almost an aura of.
So are these
menace
two sort of
around the
standing there looking at, examining this vegetation?
Not really. I think we're on the move, but it's
Right.
almost like you're having like an afterthought about
Okay,
it.
yeah.
Because we're heading towards this shine
Clearing.
of light.
Mm, sure.
Halfway to this lighter area, the sounds of the chopping and screaming abruptly stop, and around you the shadows are no longer stalking towards it. However, the creaking of wood and shifting of roots still creeps slowly behind you. You can make out the trees are spread around a clearing, the tree line and an open canopy above allowing this sunlight to streak through, bathing a half-sunken cave in rain and a faint rainbow visible in the air. Closer still, you can see that the trees nearest the clearing are unblighted, but the signs of corruption are beginning on some of them. The grass in the clearing is thick and a vibrant green, unlike the rotten mess of the rest of the woods, and the cave is a rough-hewn grey stone, half embedded in the ground and opening in front of it, surrounded by a large number of these tree creatures, their bark splintered and broken upon the ground, their eye hollows bare and empty.
Well, I suppose we're going into the cave.
Yes. I have a feeling we're not the first to get here.
Any objections?
No.
Ornelli?
Yeah,
at this?
I do turn to Ornelli and I say,
She looks around at the unblighted area, looks towards the cave, looks behind her. I don't hear anything, but if it is all the same to you, I will stay here and ensure that our way back is a way back that we can use.
I'm not sure how wise that is, Ornelli.
Will you be safe by yourself, surely?
Of course, I'll be fine.
I think we should stick together.
Could you make a persuasion check for me, please?
Sure.
I'm not sure.
If I've got anything taken in persuasion.
So it'll definitely be your charisma.
I do, yeah, well, I do have persuasion taken.
Sure, yep.
So I rolled a 15.
Okay.
And because I've got that taken, my proficiency bonus is 3, so that's 18.
Alright, cool. Plus your charisma as well.
Oh, plus my charisma
Yeah.
as well.
So it's like a 21.
21, yeah.
Yeah. She still seems quite apprehensive, but she begrudgingly nods and gestures to you. Lead the way then.
And Mackay sort of looks over your shoulder and directly at her and says, so keen to leave?
Not a case of keen to leave, more of a case of I've seen what happens when you enter a place that seems to be safe.
Which is why we should stick together.
A fair point.
Perhaps you should use those wits that the elves are famous for. Oh wait, sorry. Of course. And I look at Erefan. And then start moving on.
So you're approaching the cave at this point.
Yeah.
As you approach, you notice that the corpses of the tree creatures are sort of spread out. There's a mingling of bones, cloth, weapons and armour in the grass and dirt around them.
Animal bones, human bones, a mix.
Human bones. And nearing the cave, the corpses of the tree creatures are non-existent past the mouth of it. As you peer into it, you can see that a worn trail goes down at a slight dip, not very far, and at the end of it is a small sapling, probably only about 3 foot in height. And there's a crack in the cave roof, allowing the sunlight to beam through, illuminating the golden bark and the bright green leaves of this young tree, it almost seeming to glow in the light, and the bushels of it are studded with pale yellow roses.
The thorn in the rose.
And yet even they're sick. Yellow's an ugly colour. Amakai spits. Give me bone and red.
Now, on these bones, is there any kind of, clothing, like other bits left over, or is it just bones?
It's mostly rags, rusted armour.
So it's whatever. It seems old. It doesn't seem.
It's old.
Is there anything fresh?
Nothing fresh.
And we can't discern like where these rags came from, or like markings or anything like that.
Nothing on them, no.
So, Griffin just takes a deep breath. And how deep is the cave?
The cave itself, the trail goes down probably about 15 feet, but it's at a relatively easy angle.
Can we see what's beyond? If you know what I mean?
It's closed off.
At the end?
Yeah.
So it's literally, we've just found a...
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How far away from you are you from the cave sort of entrance at this point?
As close as I'd need to be to see down to the end of it, I suppose.
Okay, marvellous. A scratching sound on the dirt comes, accompanied by the rattling of bone and metal as 3 skeletal figures rise before the cave mouth. Shambling forwards, ethereal blue light flares in their eye sockets and a grinding growl emanates from within them. On the right, a mace clangs against shield as a smaller one stands upright. To the right of them, a greatsword is held before helmeted skull, tattered leather rose hanging from bare bone, and in the centre, leaning on a rusted spear, a fur-trimmed cloak billows in a non-existent wind, planted and leaning on this spear, bony fingers gripping tightly, shield held close to the body, a faded symbol emblazoned upon it. The 3 of them stand their ground and eye the 5 of you.
Griffin kind of puts his hand up, like this, for a second.
Yeah, Amakai's blade is out.
Yeah.
Luco sheathes his dagger and puts his second hand on his spear.
Yeah, augurs moaned and moved around into my hand.
We are not here to take what you are guarding.
The spear points towards you. The other 2 remain static. The one in the centre points his spear towards you, but turns his head towards Ornelli and flicks between the other 3 of you as well, before...
We come to rid this forest of its blight. Can you speak?
The skeleton steps forward, kicks one of the corpses of the tree beasts over with its greaved boot. From the creature as it rolls over, you hear a... But the skeleton stabs it deep into the creature's chest, the sound dying in an instant. It yanks the weapon free and kneels down next to the creature. With its spear, it slowly carves some shapes into the bark. First, a large crooked circle. It then looks around. It then carves in a smaller circle inside this first shape and stabs 5 dots and points at you. It then jabs this smaller circle where these dots are and carves a curved line north and crosses it. And then nods at you and stands up.
Griffin kind of indicates this is, may I take it? The thing that he's carved.
So this is in the
This
bark
is in the
creature.
bark of the creature, right? Okay, very good. So Griffin kind of takes note of this.
Amberkai's looking at it in almost mixed horror and
Yeah.
Would I recognise the glyph? It's just.
Or does it just look like
It's
an
not. It's not a glyph.
map.
Let me just do a quick drawing for you, just so you can pass around. So it's kind of it's like a crooked circle. There's another smaller circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots in the middle. It carves this line out and crosses it, stabs that, and then nods at you.
Ah.
So, obviously we're the 5 dots, and where we need to go is the cross.
Yeah.
So at that Griffin just nods, and actually he bows low.
The skeleton doesn't respond.
Griffin doesn't really expect him to. He stands and says, "This way," and he heads off in the direction of the, where that is shown.
Amberkai, like, he walks backwards away from them, following you, but he does not take his eyes off them until we are at safe distance.
Luca's kind of like the last one to start moving to try and bring out the rear, and he's kind of he lowers his spear to him and gives him a little nod. My pirate just kind of pokes his head out of his satchel, and Luca's just like, no, stay.
So yeah, I'll follow on, and you hear from Augur. Unexpected.
You hear that, or they all hear that?
They all hear it.
Oh man.
Amberkai turns to you.
Ornelli looks at you as well,
Yeah.
with a mix of intrigue and almost attraction at this.
Well, you always see me. I'm sort of like.
I'd like to join the dead.
The skeletons, hearing this,
At this, Griffin, who hasn't broken his stride, he's heard it. He says, "Keep moving, everyone, now. Now.
Yeah.
We will deal with this later, Enrakai. I remember our discussion."
You can see Amberkai's arms are like tense, like he's ready to strike, but he continues to back away from the dead.
I think like from behind your shoulder, you can kind of hear the sound of my voice whisper to me, "Easy, brother. If we have to, we will, but when we have to."
So you've sort of left this clearing now in the direction of the...
What's wrong with him? What's wrong with you?
Wasn't me.
It was!
Me.
Foul necromancer!
Hey, everyone was surprised by that.
So you've left, or you sort of made a move to leave the area now,
Yeah,
yeah?
I think I'm sort of walking towards the.
You do notice that Ornelli is the last to leave the area. She's very intently staring at the cave. The skeletons are sort of not moving from their area, but staring back at her.
Griffin makes a silent note of this.
Eventually, she does catch up with you.
Yeah. So Ornelli, I imagine, like kind of breaks into stride with the rest of the group, and I kind of look at her and go, "Do you know what they are? I've never seen such a thing."
This place is very strange in terms of its magic and in terms of its denizens. I have not encountered them before, but I think I know what was inside that cave.
Something they're guarding.
Well, obviously.
What was it?
The thing that would have made this place a glorious place to visit some 50 years ago. I think that was the last of the jade beeches in there.
The what?
The jade beech, the trees, the place that gave this place its namesake before it became known as the Forlorn Grove. Seriously, your companions need some education.
Yes, Luca kind of stops.
She says this in Elven to you.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I
we didn't
replied,
understand that.
With all due respect, we've not come here for jade beaches.
Be that as it may, I know that you're here for the boneroot.
Is this still in Elven?
No. This
Okay.
she sort of reverts back to
Okay.
to common. I know that you're here for the boneroot. I understand that. I respect that, but you're seriously not interested in the ability of that tree? The tree that made Erinshire a popular trading post. They lived in harmony with it. That is the reason why me and the scholars are here, is to try and restore the Jade Beach. End the corruption as well, of course, first, but the Jade Beaches are far more important in terms of what they can do.
Why, what can they do?
Their sap can heal. Their wood is supple and light and yet stronger than iron.
Well, we can come back.
Perhaps.
These guardians seem to want to encourage us to help them. If we can deal with this, whatever this is.
Perhaps, and yet, if you've ever tried to take something that belongs to someone else, you would know that they are quite resistant, regardless of your intentions, correct?
My brothers and I are experts with that. I think we'll be fine.
I see. Very well. So we are to trust these skeletons and their dark magics and just assume that they're leading us in the correct manner?
The Guardians of the Glade? Yes, we are. Unless you know where we're going. Oh, wait, you don't. Listen, I understand that our meeting was chance, but you're with us now, or you're not. Make your choice.
She gives you a slight bow. My apologies. The past few days have been quite stressful. I hope you will forgive me.
Of course, my lady. As long as we're on the same page.
Of course. This place must be cleansed.
Good.
Indeed. After all, you would be dead if it wasn't for us.
Perhaps.
You weren't winning that fight.
No. I will give you that.
Lucky I stepped in.
Of course. The path that you're following winds and meanders gently. The cruel branches above and either side of you reach out like jagged claws, but never quite seem to reach you, licking at the edge of the flames. The trek is silent. Only the damp squelch of rotten ground underfoot your companions, and the far-off groan you heard is now silent. After a time, perhaps an hour, the trees become slightly wider and spaced once again and fan out into a clearing, inside of which are 2 huts of wood and thatch, holes in the roofs, seriously in disrepair. The remains of 7 more are standing near the 2, their arrangement in a semicircle around a large furrowed area where crops would have once grown, stones arranged around them in runic patterns.
What is this place? I say to her.
It must have been the Cultists Settlement.
Cultist Settlement?
Yes, the rumours of them coming here some 40 years ago and beginning this blight is, well, we hadn't found it up to now. I thought it was just a rumour.
What do these symbols mean? Does anyone recognise them?
Yeah, Mackay tries to examine them. Do
Could you make an Arcana check for me, please?
Me specifically?
Yes, as you're looking at them.
Alrighty.
You're quite good at magic.
Sometimes. I got a 5.
Not today.
They're sort of far too broken up and shattered for you to really make out what they are. You would guess...
Are they arcane symbols?
There's definitely something arcane about them, but the magic is long gone.
There was magic here once, but if there is any left remaining, I can't see it. The symbols are broken. They're old. Perhaps, as you say, 40 years old. I say to Ornelli. But I do not recognise these symbols.
If this was the settlement, this must be the centre of where it all began.
She kneels down next to the symbols. They are broken and, as you say, the magic long gone, but these are for fertility, growth. Whether they've grew the boneroot here in the first place or whether they just used this to live off the land, I cannot say.
Were they perhaps trying to encourage what was already here, as opposed to corrupt it?
I have No idea.
Maybe it was an accident.
I mean, that is possible, but a boneroot is certainly no accidental creation. They are grown, they are fostered, but they are also more than capable of living under their own steam. They would not need these cultists to help them.
Why the runes?
Maybe they were living here. No one ever saw them come out or enter, admittedly.
Which means they could still be living here.
Oh, I think they are.
Maybe
I
these
think we've already faced some of them.
maybe these runes meant protection from something.
They're fertility runes.
True. So you said these huts were like collapsed and stuff like that.
So some of them are still standing, most of
Right.
them are collapsed in on themselves, so that you can make out, based on the area, that there's there would have been 9 huts, 2 of them are still standing.
One of the huts that's still standing, if I was to approach it slowly, might have a look inside.
Okay.
Yeah,
I won't go in, but I'll see if I can see into it.
Sure, so it's almost like a semicircle. This one is ruins and collapsed in on itself.
Yeah.
The one next to it, so we'll call it Hut 2,
Hut 2.
is still standing. Hut 3 is a ruin. Number 4 is a ruin. Number 5 is standing, and the rest are collapsed in on themselves.
Well, I'll go to Hut 2.
Okay. Approaching it, you do see that it is in absolute terrible disrepair. The door is torn off its hinges. Peering in, you can see that pieces of the thatched roof almost slowly drift downwards. The supporting beam in the centre creaks under strain. You can see that there's 2 straw beds on the floor and 2 large chests of a slimy, rotten wood. A hanging rack covered in charms and fetishes that you can make out to be made from like corded plant vine entwined with small animal bones.
Druids. And the guy spits on the ground.
Ornelli looks at this. We're not all bad.
Yeah, the guy just looks at her.
Right.
What do you see?
Charms. This may have been, well, I'm not sure, but it could have been an apothecary's hut. Perhaps a trade post of their wares. I start investigating a little bit more, start searching it.
So you're going inside, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything in particular that you want to start with?
I'll start by looking at all of the charms and.
Okay.
Go on.
There's nothing out of the ordinary for these, other than the fact that they are made from just almost dried vines, and the bones of the animal bones are bleached.
You said there was a chest?
Yes, there are 2 large chests.
Okay, I'd like to see if I can try and maybe open one of them.
Okay. It almost breaks open at your touch.
So it's like
rotten as anything. Inside the first one that you open, there's a mix of tattered robes and cloaks, working leathers, boots, things such as that. Nothing else.
The next one? Oh, is it just the same?
Abracai's gone towards the next one. By this
In
point.
the second one, you find much of the same, but there is also a small.
100 gold, please.
There's also a small casing wrapped in almost burlap. Unwrapping it, inside you find a small Alchemist's Kit, and there are a number of flasks inside.
Okay.
Drink
Liquid
them.
inside?
Yes, so inside, so there's 3 flasks inside. All of them have a liquid. One of them is a small. Now I get to use my props. Huzzah! Which actually brings me quite nicely onto the next, onto the question that I have, which is how many healing potions do you guys have?
I think I have 2.
You have 2. Let's check.
I don't think I have any.
Because the first one that you find looks like this.
Whoa!
Oh my god, look at that! That's pretty cool.
That's nice.
This looks very similar to the other healing potions that you may have, so it depends how many that you have will determine how many I'm going to give you.
Yeah.
Well, I think, well,
You've done the right colour.
I
too.
don't
The
know
health
if it's
is red,
right.
always red.
if I've been crossing them off. I'm not sure, but it says here 4 vials of healing.
But they're called tonics, aren't they?
Weren't you looking after them?
I think, wasn't I looking after them?
I
were
think you
for
were
a
given a
time.
you were given a pouch.
I've
I
got
have
one
none.
tonic left.
I have none.
I seem to have, well, I might be cheating here,
Okay.
Yes.
but it does say 4 vials.
Alright, well then let's determine how many you actually have.
Roll a d20.
We shall let the gods decide.
You have 3 of them.
I've got 1 tonic.
I have 3 vials on me.
Oh wow!
An extra 3. Oh, very nice.
This is a darker colour.
I wasn't going to measure them by pipette and milliliter.
Mine's better.
Do you have any?
I have none.
Do you have any?
I have 2.
1
1. Hey.
and 2.
Ah. Cheers.
So
I
we
get
have
any.
2
What
each
was
then.
that? I don't have any. I don't have any at all.
Well, because I had 1, so I've just taken another. Amrakai uncorks them and smells and.
Okay, so you uncork the one that you've opened, yeah?
Yes.
It looks and smells like a normal one, a normal tonic of healing. Could you make a medicine check for me, though?
Yes.
So just to be clear, I had 3 plus another 3, so I now have 6. Or do I have 3 in total?
No, 3 in total.
I think it's a 2, but it was a bit of a dodgy.
So I'm
Thank
just
you,
gonna. So this is kind of a little bit of a house rule here. The way that I've always sort of done in terms of identifying what potions do is to have you guys. It will be to have my players make a medicine check, primarily because you would need to have some sort of understanding of the chemical makeup, the medicinal makeup, as to whether it's going to be good or bad for you.
Right.
So I think there's other ways of doing it that the Dungeon Masters guide explains, but for anyone that's watching just going, that's not how you do it, this is how I do it. So there. So you rolled a 2. That's what happens.
Yes.
As far as you can tell, this is a normal tonic of healing.
Okay.
There are 2 more inside, which unfortunately I did not have time to make up the.
Oh, you've done very well anyway, Chef.
I did not have time to make up the proper alchemical reagents for, but the second one that you find is a deep crimson syrup inside this one. There's an aroma of aniseed, but is otherwise tasteless.
You should have said it was a clear liquid.
And inside this one would be a thick, sludgy grey tonic that smells of tangy metal.
Oh.
I have both of them.
Would you like to identify these ones? Okay, so
Are you proficient in medicine?
the first, the crimson one. So I guess you could fill these up with whatever it is that we're drinking, if you wanted. And then for because the whole point will be is that 1 for your ease, 2 for my ease, and 3 for your enjoyment at home, is that when you want to drink, you quaff from your potion of tonic.
Ah.
I do love them props.
That's pretty cool.
So the first one
is
did
it
you want-
poison? Are we gonna die?
Can you drink them?
Yeah, no. These are. Oh, does anyone not like apple and blackcurrant squash? Because that's what they are.
No.
I'm actually allergic to it.
Are you actually allergic
Yeah.
to squash? Okay, well you have 0
healing potion for you!
That means you die.
That
that's
was in
fine.
vodka or something.
No. No. So okay, but just for the purposes
Yeah.
of you have some healing tonics, and it'll be a nice little markers for you.
Yeah. No, it's lovely. It's cool. When I'll go like this, and then someone else can enjoy.
You
the
do like that
actual
and then
taste.
spill it on the studio
Yeah,
floor, and then Lawrence will be like, "Dude."
Why do I have none?
You probably drank them all because I've been quite cruel to you and killing you.
Oh, okay. I've just understood what's happening.
Carry on! 5 minutes later. So the first one, did you want to try and identify?
Yeah. So this time I roll a 11.
Okay. As I say, there's a faint aroma of aniseed to it. You
Yeah.
have a quick
Yuck.
sip to it, but it doesn't taste of anything. This is a potion of revitalization.
Ooh.
When you drink this tonic, the first time you are reduced to 0 hit points within the next 2 hours, you regain instantly 1 hit point.
Wow.
So you just instantly become alive again.
He's immortal!
But it only lasts
Once.
for 2 hours.
Yeah. The first time,
So you
once
need to
within
know.
2
You need to be
hours.
careful.
You need to know when you're about to.
You need to be smart.
When the
And,
S is about to hit the fan.
yeah.
The Sambuca.
Yeah.
And then the second one, this sort of sludgy grey tonic.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna try. So I'm trying to identify that separately.
Medicine check.
This time it's a 10.
Okay. This is a potion of steel skin. It tastes of tangy metal as you sort of let a drip go on your tongue. When you drink it, you gain 10 temporary hit points
Wow.
and
Yeah.
+1 armor class for 1 hour. But during this time, you know that your skin will dull to a light grey colour, and your dexterity is reduced by 1.
You're a tank now.
Good lord.
Fine.
Temporary tank.
You're just like,
Yeah.
Both of them are appropriate.
Yeah, I immediately drink both.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll save them. Can
then punch
can you
everyone.
drink both as a free action?
so drinking potions takes an action to do.
Can you drink 2 potions
No.
as an action?
You can drink one at a time.
Could you mix them into one vial so you could drink them both at a time?
You can, but the quantities will not match up, and there will probably be some alchemic reaction.
Oh,
Oh, it's risky.
prepared.
So, right, can you remind me of the names of both?
So the potion of revitalization and a potion of steel skin.
Okay.
Yes.
Iron Fist and Iron Will.
Whilst you are looking at these, sort of dabbing in fingers on your tongue, Luco, you notice that the roof begins to almost buckle a little bit.
Right, we should go.
Yeah, and Mackay sees that. He takes both the potions quickly and puts them in his pouch. And yeah, we leave.
And the first potion that you found as well.
Yes.
Okay. You leave, nothing untoward happens. The creek sort of still is there, but nothing seems to happen elsewhere.
So while I think what Griffin would have done as well, he's seen they've kind of found these potions and stuff. He's probably already looked over to the other house and he's made his way. And as he does, he kind of slaps you on the chest and says, "Come on."
I come on.
Inside, you find again a simple selection of beds, chests. If you were to look in them, which I'm assuming you will, you find clothes, boots. There's fetishes again hanging on the walls. The chests open easily. The wood, like the lock, is just absolutely worthless because the wood just splinters. Inside one of the chests, you find a small satchel, almost like a hip-sized.
Get ready for more
Roughly
props.
yay big.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have props for
Ah.
these. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I ran out of prep time. But inside, you find 2 scroll tubes.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep. Anything else? I think I'm going to wait till I'm outside to kind of open them up if we've got things maybe falling down. But as I'm searching, I take an opportunity just to talk to Erevan because I'm assuming you guys are still in the other hut.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So you can imagine Griffin's kind of like going, and remember he's in full like death mask at the moment as well. He's kind of
that's right.
He's not wet because his wig got burnt off, so he's wearing.
He's got the complete alabaster skin, face paint, and
so-
the sort of horrible clown thing with a frown.
Exactly. So it's what Griffin would call his death mask, essentially.
Sweet.
Says he goes, Erevan, are you losing control?
It may appear that way. I don't believe I am. This is. It's as interesting to me as it is to you.
Do you know what that is that you carry, really?
Yes.
You seem quite happy to let it speak.
I don't let it speak. It speaks by itself.
And does it have some sort of control over you? Has it ever made you do things which you cannot control? I think the answer is yes before you answer. I've seen it
You've
in the
seen
many
what?
combats that we have had. That blade has a mind of its own. I'm willing to see past it for a time. There are others in the party who will not. If you can commune with it, I suggest you do. I'm telling you this as a friend. For if it takes you over, you will lose your head. Do you understand?
Has it brought you any harm?
Not yet.
Has it brought them any harm?
Not yet. But I fear it might. And there have been some occasions where your gift of the tide has been off its mark. Is that because you're a novice? Maybe. Or is it because there's something in there that seems to thrive on pain, death, and destruction? Be careful. It won't be me who takes your head, but it could be some others. If there comes a time when you lose control, I won't be able to stop them, and part of me might not want to.
If I lose control, I will be the first to deal with it.
Well, if you say so.
Sepulchre.
Having said that, I've seen some things which are worrying, and the fact we all heard it speak to us. I am not familiar with the tide. I cannot see it as you can. But I know darkness. There is something hidden in that blade which scares me. And if it doesn't scare you, you need to think very carefully about what you're doing. Do you understand?
I understand. There is potential here. I must admit, I don't know how far that potential will go. However, I'm more attached to you and them than it.
Good.
Up until now, I'm sure you will agree, it's done us some good in tight spots. There are things you may not understand. There are many things that one of us does not understand. However, if the time comes, I will deal with this.
And if you can't?
I would appreciate your help.
Help comes in many forms, my friend. Make sure you deal with it before it gets to the point of help that I can provide. We need to speak no more of this. This is a warning, though. With that, Griffin looks in the next chest. If there is 2 chests.
2 chests. Inside the second one, you just find clothes, boots.
Cool. So, I kind of come out, and I'm assuming by this time you guys are on your way over.
Probably coming out at the same time now.
So then Griffin kind of holds the scrolls and says, I found these. And then he waits for you to get there.
Yeah, approaches you.
Yeah.
And then he kind of opens them to the group.
Okay.
Who opens the first one?
Amakai just looks over your shoulder to see.
What do I see?
You see, essentially, on this scroll, just runic writings. As you say, you're not familiar with the tide, so this is just, you're like...
Yeah. So I kind of, I pass it on. I pass one to you, I open the next one, and I pass it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do I
Could
see?
you both make an Arcana check?
Do I have any kind of advantage?
Quite possibly on Arcana, if you took Arcana. It's a skill.
Yes.
There you go. So you add your proficiency to it. You don't have advantage.
One, yeah. Stand up, come on!
Oh my god!
That is a 21 on an 18.
Okay, you
I tell the future!
you identify that this is a scroll of Dominate Beast.
What?
What does that mean? We'll have a look at the spell and what it does.
Great.
So when you have a scroll,
I roll a 14.
you identify a scroll of Purify Food and Water.
Oh, that's handy.
Mine sounds cooler.
So basically, when you have a scroll, you can use an action to read the scroll, and it will unleash the lowest level of the spell that's on the scroll. Once it's used, it disintegrates.
Wow.
Is there any way you could get it to release a higher level?
No.
Okay. Gotta ask the
Do
question.
you really need to know what my scroll does?
Yeah, it's the scroll of Dominate Beast. It'll be in the player's handbook.
Okay, we'll check that
We'll
out
look at it later.
Yeah.
We'll look at it later. Anything else that you wish to do?
So this village is like the blight is quite prevalent around this area.
Around the sort of the outskirts of it, yeah.
But
the inner bit is it's definitely rotting and you know under the influence, as it were.
Are there no other buildings?
They're ruins. You can search them if you want.
Yeah, Amakai does a
Because
cursory
at
search of
this
everyone.
like Griffin kind of goes, it's not here. The clue on how to get there must be here, otherwise they wouldn't have sent us to this place.
Isn't this place just along the way? Or is
Yeah,
this-
we at the place
Have we arrived at the end?
or...
No.
Oh, okay, it's just on the way.
This is
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of
Forgive me.
on the way.
Forgive
You
me.
say that and Amakai just sort of confirms with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. In which case, Griffin kind of.
How am I meant to know what a skeleton means?
Amakai nods.
But you are. So you want to search the area?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we're going to start doing the vetoes on the searching.
Yeah, I think
You see Anrakai searching. Does anyone want to help him? Or are you just going to let him sift through the ruins by himself? Because if anyone does not help him, you will not be searching again.
If I help him, I'm assuming he just gets
He gets
an
advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Griffin helps.
Sure.
Oh wow, that is literally a 13 and a cock die.
Right,
Yeah,
then
it is.
cock a d20.
Tough one. So 13 still is the
Ow.
highest roll.
Okay, with perception bonuses that you may
Yes.
or may not have. So you add your wisdom,
Yeah, which I do have.
which I believe is +1 for
So
you.
yeah,
Just in
that
case
would
this might be important.
14.
While he's doing this, Luco is just trying to keep an eye and hear out for anything.
Sure. Okay, so you can. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll let you know if
Yeah.
anything becomes relevant.
Cool.
So do you have perception taken?
Yes, I do. So I
So
get
you
my
get-
wisdom bonus.
Plus
Yeah,
a proficiency.
Plus proficiency
Plus
of
5
3.
efficiency. Ah,
Yeah.
good point.
So you're an 18.
all of it.
18.
No, 14, 15, 16, 17.
17.
Okay.
Yeah, but,
So-
yeah, forgive me.
Yeah.
In the ruins of the first hut, so I'm assuming you're just going to go like one by one. In the ruins of the first hut, you just find the shattered remains of beds and chests bereft of contents. There's nothing more inside. As you move past the second hut where you found the potions, it creaks and cracks and falls in on itself.
Right.
The third hut, the outline is slightly larger than the others, and amongst the bits of broken bed and chest, you make out a number of engraved wooden poles and a dusty, tattered blanket, seemingly the remains of a child's cot. Half buried under the dust and dirt sits a small leather-bound book, frayed at the edges, buckled with a small rusted
Easy,
clasp. Most of the pages are damp and ruined, but the pages that can be made out
I love books.
are here.
Oh my god.
Now, for the ease
You've
of
done so much prep. This is great.
for the ease of me not needing to write out the entirety of this in a made-up language, this is written in English, or common for you adventurers, but the actual script you do not know.
Oh, I can't make it out,
You can't make it out.
but I can.
You
I'm
would
reading it.
you would
No, you can't.
you would recognise it as Elfish.
Oh.
So yeah, Griffin kind of sees his
And Mackay picks it up, and you can see he's sort of quite interested, and he starts to look at the words, and then he just
What?
come here, boy. He turns around and looks towards Erevan.
Erevan doesn't respond.
I said, come here.
Right. So just a little DM caveat here, just to make it easier for you when you're reading it. Rather than me printing off like 100 odd pages and filling it with random nonsensical stuff, it's been written out as if this was, you open a page like this in the book and this is what you see.
Okay.
But it's all in order to what you would, so here's the book, you open it up and this would be as you read it.
Okay. Do I read it out loud?
If you want, it's up to you.
I start reading out.
Why don't you read it out loud?
So I read it out loud in Elvish first of all.
Oh,
What's the matter? Do you not understand?
no, I don't understand.
Ah,
You read
he
it in
finally
common.
admits it. Very good. Allow me to retort in something you will no doubt understand.
The grip on Amakai's hilt is stronger.
Fortune has smiled. Oh no.
Yeah.
762 AS. What's AS?
After the schism. So this is the nomenclature of the calendar.
So we're on like 812 now?
812.
Yeah.
812.
Okay.
You understand that was the year, don't you, boy?
Silence.
You guys.
Fortune has smiled upon us this day. After so many years of searching, we have finally found the means to enact our goal, the preserved seeds of a boneroot. These things are incredibly rare, and that fool of a trader did not know what he was giving away, and at that price, a bargain. Petrified skull fruit. Imbecile. But we knew what we had found, and the things we had spoke of would finally come to pass. Soon the root will grow strong and wide, and we will take back what is rightfully ours. I am eager to fill this book with our findings and document the beginning of a new era. Should I continue?
If you wish.
Very good. Oh my
So,
goodness.
yeah. So
Okay.
just
From here to here.
yeah. So boom.
This
Just
is
like-
manga.
Just like normal
Manga.
It's definitely not manga.
Yes. 762. Finding a suitable location is harder than expected, but I have no doubts we will find one soon. 762 again, still no luck. 763, beginning to lose hope. 764, blast. Track the flow of the ley lines.
So these are the words that are legible.
Oh,
Yeah. So there's gaps in the script, basically.
It's too stained or...
Yeah, too stained, or it's torn, or it's just...
So going between...
Yeah.
So then next thing I understand is called Erinshire, then word has been sent, then to gather the like-minded. 770, taken hold. Sacrifice of the woods is a shame but necessary. Rot a sign of the boneroot, growing strong. 774, the root has begun to flourish and spread, growing strong on the magic of the ley lines. The bark of the jade beech, and we can see its influence begin to spread, although we are not the only ones, it seems. The villagers have begun to probe the forest, but they will be no match for us. What are simple farmers and hunters to the servants of the land? Their blood will be spilt, and only serve to further the might of Virar Nelam.
Virar Nenelam,
Yeah.
which is...
Elvish.
Doesn't translate
means-
directly, but it's Elvish to New Beginning. So this is written as Virar Nenelam. You would then just sort of say, in common, that basically means New Beginning, but it doesn't translate directly.
Very good. 780. Boy! Then something. Giving me a boy. Something healthy, pure-born child. And then the rest is illegible. My love by my side, and my son in my arms, I know our cause is true. Illegible. Land returns to our people. And then...
So at that, Griffin sort of interrupts. Actually, no, Ben's going to interrupt. It's my understanding, so I'm not saying this, I thought they couldn't have children anymore.
It's very rare.
Oh, it's very rare.
Extremely rare.
But they can.
They can have pure-born children, but they are extraordinarily rare. Like,
Fine.
we're talking literally 1 in a million.
Okay,
Oh,
fine.
wow.
So then Griffin just kind of takes an intake of shocked breath.
I look towards... what's her face?
Ornelli. Yeah, you can see she's very intently listening to this.
Okay.
And at the mention of pureborn, she sort of stiffens a small bit.
Yeah. So as I read the next bit, I go, because most of this is illegible. 780, only thing I can understand is soon. Then the next one, again, 780, all I can read here is distant, more time with the tree than nothing. And then he will need feeding soon, is in speech, but ignores Zeren's cries. And then huge gap, worried for her, another huge gap. Do I understand what Zeren is?
It's a name.
A name, okay. 780, again. The day is here, and though it is with a heavy heart that I must do this alone, I am still intent to lead, and then our is crossed out, and it says my followers. For the flowering will be both beautiful and affirming, of that I am sure. Their resolve is low after the last few weeks, which I understand more than them, of course, though none would dare speak as much to my face. Cowards, really, although it can hardly talk. I knew there would be trials, sacrifices, but still, this was far worse than expected. Regardless, they will be necessary to spread the seeds further, now that we will have a source for them, and so they must be led, lest the plan falls to ruin. Although my mind wanders when it should be focused, I cannot help to suppose. In some morbid way, this will be akin to seeing the birth of my son again. Jeez, bleak. 780. I am the last. Whether that is intent on the part of the monster, I cannot say. The others are all gone, taken by the root. I can hear their screaming even now, coming for me. There is no way out for me now. We were fools to think that this could be controlled. The irony is not lost on me, given what she said. Yet this last entry be a curse for her. May she never be damned. At last, I'll be reunited with my boy.
Gosh.
This was some time ago. I wonder what happened to them. Or him.
Well, whatever they were trying to do clearly turned against them.
You hear a spit on the ground as you say this from Ornelli. You can see she's red with anger.
Return to it. What is it?
They had a child and gave it away for what? This? Maybe River was right. Maybe we should just burn this place to the ground.
Pureborn. This just never happens. What were they thinking?
Well, clearly they thought there was something greater, something better. They speak of claiming back land, they speak of controlling it. Fools.
What is land when we're all dead? What a waste.
What properties? I don't understand. Boneroot. What could they have been thinking it could do?
She looks around at this. Well, it destroys everything it touches. Maybe they were hoping to turn it into a weapon.
A weapon against who?
Who knows? They talk of spreading its seeds. I suppose it is some small mercy that whatever happened here cut them off from their goal, lest they have taken it across the world.
You said something about a time after? Were they using it to bring about some kind of end times?
Well, a new beginning.
And that is what they decided to call this tree, I suspect. Vera Nenelum. Ridiculous. Their Vera Nenelum should have been that boy.
Agreed. At that, Erebin lights a torch and throws it into the one of the ruins.
Okay. I'm assuming you've all searched the remainder
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
You find nothing else inside other than clothes, similar equipment. You do, however, find a skeleton, their clothes long since worn away, and around their neck is a pendant with a small malachite gemstone set in it.
Alright, I'm gonna takes that.
But the ruins are otherwise empty, as is the rest of the area.
And now they're on fire.
Well,
Okay.
perhaps we should continue.
So having searched the area, the ruins, you found all that there is to be found,
Yeah.
as far as you can tell. With this macabre diary fresh in your minds, I'm assuming you continue on your path towards where the skeletal revenant indicated your journey's end would be.
Oh, so
Take
set
that
it on
handover.
fire.
Oh yes, and you set the clearing on fire, of course.
And
Let's
like
not
it.
forget, stuff is burning.
We're walking in slow motion now.
Away from the fire.
Yeah.
And not looking at it.
'Cause we're
That's
cool.
very important.
Well, of course.
You travel for what seems like another hour or so, but you can't actually be certain. And eventually amongst the tree line, some 50 foot to your side, in the eastern direction, you spy a series of tent poles and canvas blowing in the wind and amongst the trees, arrayed in a small camp.
A raid in a small camp.
Yeah, so it arrayed as in they are in an arrangement.
Oh, a raid. Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
A
Gotcha.
raid, not a raid.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Well, yeah. Amakai starts heading towards it.
Is it on our path or is it a deviation?
It's off the path that
Right.
you're following.
Is it so? It's away from where we were told to go.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the pathway that you're following goes straight on. This is off the beaten track, so to speak.
And this is off the destination we're supposed to go.
Yeah, but it's only about 50 feet away from where you're currently are.
Yeah. No, I'd still investigate it.
Okay.
Should we be
Do you have
deviating
something
too
to say,
far?
Araban?
Well, my name's Griffin.
It's the forest, man. It's doing funny things to me.
Exactly.
Well, no, Griffin kind of realising it's not really on the way, kind of says, Is this necessary?
So yeah, so Amberkai's just taken a few steps towards it, and he stops and says, "Why not? May give us more insight into what's going on here."
I agree with Griffin. This was our camp. There's nothing here but bad memories.
Your camp.
Oh, is that what?
Ornelli says, yeah.
And then Amberkai says, "Which is exactly why we should." And steps in.
Okay.
I'm not sure we should stray the path. We have a clear destination to head to. Why are we stopping here?
Go ahead then. If you can protect yourself,
We shouldn't
I'll catch
separate.
up. And he starts heading towards the camp.
Okay.
I personally like to see what I can see as opposed to listen to the fairy tales of people that we've never met. And I looked at her.
She stares back at you nonchalant.
And I start investigating the camp.
Okay. You see that there are 5 tents. They're all abandoned, but there are signs of struggle and fighting. 3 of them are torn apart, blood-stained, either directly upon the canvas or on the ground around them. There's drag marks and a number of thin, stilt-like tracks that are pressed into the dirt. 2 further sets of faded tracks are present, one of which is a set of deep, wide footprints, toes. Apparently this was barefooted. And they begin at the base of one of the tents, short snips between them, and then they get wider and wider. They move off into the tree line, following these stilted tracks and the drag marks. The second set is much thinner, boot prints that circle the edge of the encampment at a steady pace. They overlap a number of times. They visit each of the 10 at stages, and then they set off in the opposite direction, the gap between the prints increasing again wider and wider, as if to indicate a sprint, before they abruptly stop.
What happened here?
Looks like there was someone that was circling the perimeter.
That would be me. I was on watch when the creatures attacked.
And these wider footprints, they're the dwarf.
Yes, he pursued them as they were being dragged away, but we got split up. I was going to move around and flank them, but the forest betrayed my senses.
And what of your other colleagues?
Well, they're not here. And this is why Rever thinks that I'd abandoned them and led us to their...
Can I see any other tracks?
Other than these sort of almost stilts?
Yeah, which I'm assuming is the what I'll call the tree kid.
Yeah.
Boy, your friends can't just vanish without a trace. Something
Who knows?
took them, or they left of their own volition. But there aren't any tracks here.
She points at the drag marks on the ground. It's like, yes, they crawled on their bellies into the woods. Imbecile.
Is there blood on the track?
There's blood stains all around the tents that have been torn open, on the ground as well. It's caked in by your guess, maybe a week ago.
And are they? How many of the friends was she travelling with?
There was 5 of them in total.
Yeah,
Her,
so
Rever, and 3 others.
So are there 3 dragon rails? Are there?
Yes, well, there's 5 tents and drag marks to indicate 3 being dragged.
Are they all dragged in the same direction?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll give
You
you this
notice
much.
the drag moves off in the same direction as the pathway is heading.
Well, I'll give you this much. You couldn't drag 3 people. Not at the same time.
Well, no, of course not. What are you implying?
I don't know. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of why you were being attacked by that dwarf.
Because he is mad. The forest has driven him as such, and he's had it in for me since day 1.
Aye, and that is what I would normally believe, hence why I defended you, remember?
And I thank you for that,
But
sir.
at the same time, that was quite a madness he had, wasn't it?
Who knows what happens to a dwarf in their old age?
I'll give you this, I don't like them either. And Mackay starts walking along the drag trail since it starts to marry with the main path.
Okay. You free?
Yeah, I don't want to hang around here very much longer.
Okay.
And he says under his breath to Griffin, not Erevan, at least her story is corroborated now.
Seems to be.
What is your passive perceptions? I must make a note of that. So your passive perception is 10 plus any proficiency and perception that you may have.
Yeah.
So it would be 10 plus your wisdom plus proficiency in perception if you have it.
Yep, so mine would be 13.
Mine's 13 too.
Yeah, it'd be 13.
Okay.
Mine is 14.
Oh no, sorry, mine is 14.
So 14, 14, 13, 13. Cool, that makes it nice and simple. As you begin to follow these tracks, you hear just to your right a rustle and a snap of twigs through the tree line. As you turn to look, you see a black shadow skitter off into the undergrowth.
Yeah, Amakai stops and immediately draws his sword, looking towards it.
What is it?
There's something in those trees. It's fast. Did you see it?
Yes. We keep moving. Get back to the path. Move at a slow pace. Defensive.
Yeah, we all tighten up our movement.
Okay, cool. Could you all make a survival check for me, please?
Survival.
I don't think that's happened before.
So I believe it's wisdom.
Oh, goody.
No, not goody.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so I get no bonuses to this
Okay.
roll.
So it'd just be any wisdom bonuses.
No, I don't get any
Okay.
wisdom bonuses. I do roll a 20 though.
Oh!
No!
That's the 20th session.
There it is! Yeah!
Erevan. Thanks for that image, Griffin.
That is a 9.
Okay.
It's not 20 though, is it?
Is that a 9 with any bonuses?
I don't have any bonuses.
You don't have any wisdom.
I'm not a wise man.
Clearly.
Clearly. Well, I do have survival taken.
Okay.
And I have got +1 wisdom as well.
So this would be
I do only roll a 5 though.
So
but
9.
+4, 9, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, I have survival as well, so this would be just be +3. And that is, well, that's pretty good. What is that? 15, so that becomes 18.
Okay, cool.
Good.
Underfoot, you feel the ground begin to sort of Griffin and Luco, you feel the ground begin to become a bit more sludgy, a bit more almost watery, and you do manage to guide your group through this almost quagmire. In the meantime, no other shapes or sounds have appeared or resurfaced, as it were.
Are we back on the main path yet?
You're sort of almost running parallel to it.
Okay, so we can
At
see
that-
where it is and that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
you're following these drag marks, which have now begun to
Merge.
just merge with the with this almost swampy.
And so we've kind of lost any sort of path. So at that, Griffin kind of says, we should get back on the main path.
Yes. Start moving towards the main path.
I should have been on the main path in the first place.
Eventually, another 30 minutes or so, the ground begins to dip and open up before you. The natural pathway leading down between the earth into a depressed area of the forest. The trees here are at their most rotten, all but dead and fallen to pieces. In the centre of this valley, amongst a muddy marsh, there is a singular piece of vegetation standing almost arrogantly. 70 foot tall at least, trunk bulbous and bloated like a beached whale, its bark the colour of dirtied bone, and grey-green thorn-tipped vines dotted with crimson leaves that sag and dip into the mud below. Whilst you may not know precisely what a boneroot looks like, this is very, very different to the rest of the forest. And at the base of this downward path, you see a pile of the tree corpses, a bright red mohawk dotted with grey, a dwarf slowly trudging through marshy reeds towards this central tree. A moment passes. One of his larger axes punches out into the air and ignites in flames, the blade glowing white hot. And Ornelli steps forward. We have to stop him. I understand his anger. By the gods, I agree with him, this place should burn. But if he just carves it down, it will regrow. Or worse, its seeds will spread into the air and this will carry on somewhere else.
He means to destroy it.
Just one caught in the wind, though. On an updraft. This goes somewhere else, somewhere where we're not. 40 years from now, another 50 years from now, this will all happen again, and more lives will be destroyed. It must be stopped properly, with ritual. Magic begets magic. Not to mention the magic of the sap that you need for your... whatever task it is that you have here is worthless if the tree is dead.
And you know the magic?
Yes, how do you know?
What? How to end it?
Yes.
That's why I petitioned the scholars to come with them. I told them that I was the only one to know. I told them that I was the only one that has studied these things for years and years. To ever actually see one in the flesh is clearly far outside of my expertise, but at least I know the basics of what I need to do. What will you intend to do? Cut it down? Leave it?
So in Astari, I ask, how do we know that we can trust you?
She responds back in Astari. How do you know that you can trust them? Trust is given, trust is earned. Maybe I have not done enough to earn your trust. Very well. I will let you deal with the tree as you see fit. And then in 50 years' time, when this all starts again, it will be on your heads.
What are you saying?
I turn to them.
If there is a way that we can relieve the corruption here, then of course we should do it. Besides, if she tries anything, I'll kill her.
She rolls
He says
her
it
eyes
so
at this.
nonchalantly, he doesn't even look at her.
And she just rolls her eyes.
Fine. Then we need to stop him. Luco eyes him and starts to move forward.
Yeah, Amrakai starts moving with pace.
How
towards
far
the
away
dwarf.
is he?
Yeah, what?
He's about 60 foot away at this point, but he's moving away from you.
Towards this huge
towards this
70-foot
huge tree.
Right.
His pace is almost at odds with his stature.
Oh?
As in faster or slower?
He seems a bit faster than you would. He doesn't seem to be running or moving at like a pace, but there seems to be almost a spring in his step that belies his stature.
I see.
Oh there! Amrakai shouts out to him.
He continues walking.
Amrakai quickens.
We must be careful. I do not know which of these to trust. She's one of my kind. I still don't know.
Amrakai actually seems surprised that you say that.
So, what Griffin does is, because he had a crossbow, which he pulls that out and notches one of the silver bolts, and he yells out, he says, "Stop! If you do not, dwarf, I will put a bolt through you. We're all of the same task here, but there are right and wrong ways to do things."
He just calls back at this. He's like, "Not whilst you stand with that Galir are you on my side." And you remember Galir being witch in the dwarfish tongue.
We too have come to end the corruption here.
Well then hurry up! And he brings his axe forward, pulls out another, a slightly smaller axe, and just continues walking towards the tree.
Luco calls out, "No, stop!" and sprints after him.
Okay.
Do I have a shot?
Not
Do
necessarily.
you want to make
with-
a shot?
Yeah, I'm
It's
not
a clear,
walking
it's a
with
relatively
this line of
clear open area. So,
Yeah.
the sort of the area is almost like this is really marshy, rotten ground, but it's open. There's no cover. You could make a shot if you want to make a shot.
So this is the thing, right? So Griffin kind of says, if he destroys it, we can't get what we need.
Yeah.
So Hamkai's already walked ahead at this point.
Okay,
you're
so then
seeing
Griffin takes a shot.
Yeah.
All right, make an attack roll for me, please.
Now what?
Controversial.
Yeah.
10.
It's controversial.
Yeah.
As you raise your crossbow, you hear, "Stop him! Don't kill him."
Do I
It's
get
lucky.
now? Here's a question, because obviously I get bonuses and stuff with.
Yeah, so ranged weapons are based off dexterity.
Okay, so I'm pretty lucky. I'm pretty.
I
good at
believe
this,
as a rogue you are proficient with, because this is just a light crossbow.
Yeah.
And I believe everyone is proficient with light crossbows because they're not actually all that difficult to use.
Okay, so well, I mean I get a +4 anyway with my dexterity.
Yeah, but it's just if you're proficient, you would add your proficiency
Which
bonus.
is 7. Shall we just? We'll just wait patiently.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you roll it and I will just double check. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
you are.
Just roll 20.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay.
I rolled a 17.
Yeah, it's a hit.
But, yeah. It's no point checking. It's a hit.
Cool. Roll d6 plus your dexterity damage.
I roll a 6. Plus my dexterity is 4. I do 9 damage.
9 damage. 6 plus 4 is 9. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's no, it's 10.
Yeah.
It's 10.
That's
Okay.
mathematics.
And then so as it hits him,
Mm-hmm.
Griffin's notching another one. He said, "I said stop."
Yeah, does he stumble or anything like that? Or does he just keep going?
He keeps going, and
What?
again he just calls out. He just goes, "If you're going to stop me, you'll have to do a lot more than that."
Have I caught up to it? Have we caught up to it?
Hamkai starts
How far away from
sprinting towards him now.
All right, cool. Let's roll for initiative then.
Oh!
So crossbow bolt has gone into the dwarf's back. In his back. He continues on his march towards the centre of the marshy area, where
That's a big hole in the ground.
Oh, what? Oh, whoa.
Well, that's the biggest.
That's the biggest one of them I've ever
really
seen.
big.
Nurgle would be pleased.
That is very cool.
I don't know how
Isn't that
to.
great?
I don't know how to approach this.
Well done, chef.
So cool. Oh, you
I love getting props.
You must have a
I've
real
been
life-
so busy.
real life bag of holding.
Yeah.
Just out. Props just come out of my magic bag.
Yeah.
So let's roll for some initiative.
Oh.
Yes.
Roll.
I roll a 3. Plus 7 is 10.
You were reloading your
Yeah,
crossbow. So
Well, I kind of feel like I've had my action already, so it would make sense if I
Sure.
went last.
What's the 13?
Plus dex, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
So plus.
Okay.
So 13.
I roll a 6 plus my dex, which is 1, so 7.
Sorry, I'm on 12. It's plus 2.
It's fine. You're
12.
still there, Luco.
Whoa! How did that happen?
So why? Remind me again why.
Just,
why
hang on a second, everyone.
get
There you go.
plus
Charisma.
Charisma?
Because you're
That's
swashbuckler.
just
Alright.
my swashbuckler.
Just your
Can I
initiative.
charisma?
No.
Alright,
Oh.
so I rolled a 15, where plus my dex is 2, that makes 17.
All right. Very nice.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
You can go and fight the tree first.
The tree, I'm not
Like,
fighting the
look,
tree.
oh, you can do it, man.
So the world almost rotates on its axis, as if in some parallel dimension,
Oh,
to
very
make it
good.
easier for the strange beings known as only the viewers to see the happenings in a cast of players on the world of Valtor. So our initiative is rolled. It will be the dwarf first, Reaver.
Oh, yes.
At this,
I like him, man. He's
he
got a bolt in his back.
completely ignores the bolt in his back, runs up to the tree, and with his axe, he just crashes it into Yes. The flame kind of almost licks across the base of the tree, and you hear again this.
Oh.
And the leaves begin to shake. Here, behind where Ornelli and yourselves are going down into this valley, vines form up, creating a block for your escape route. And in the distance, to your left, to your right, all around this sunken area, you hear the sounds of these screams of the tree creatures that you fought previously. So
The same ones or new ones?
well, how could
We know that.
You won't know. You won't know. But that is his attack for now. So Luca, your turn.
Right.
You need to kill the tree now. God, you need to kill the tree now.
The tree now?
You need to kill it.
No, don't kill the tree.
Oh.
Yeah, if you kill the tree, then we can't get the root.
Exactly.
We can't get the root.
Yeah, and also if we
mission's
cut the
failed.
tree down, as she said, the seed might spread and it appears somewhere else in
But
40
if
maybe she's
what if
lying?
she's lying?
Kill everything.
She might be trying to make it a bigger tree.
Okay.
All right. Well, anyway, what are you going to do?
I need to stop him.
Yeah.
Because we still need the bone root, right? So we need to, So, and he's killing the tree, so I
bet
start...
you're loving this, aren't you?
Decisions.
So, yeah, Luco just starts rushing right towards him, and as he does, he grabs Kaitega with both arms and he calls out to the dwarf, "Don't make us kill you!" He's gone into a rage and he's just sprints straight towards him.
Oh my god.
Gone into a rage.
He's gone into a rage.
Straight away.
He's
Well,
raging. Oh.
He makes him clearly, because I can move 60 now.
No, you can't move 60.
Oh,
you
40,
can move
sorry, 40. Big pardon, I saw something else.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at level 5 you gain fast movement
Yeah.
whilst you're not wearing heavy
60.
armor.
Okay, so, and I'm attacking recklessly.
Alright.
Cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're gonna kill him.
Yes, good.
Well, so, one's an 8 and one's an 11. Plus my bonuses, which come up to 7. Oh, yes.
Yep.
So that makes 18.
That's a hit.
Yeah. Very good.
Move him in. Stabby stab.
Yeah, I can't reach him. Okay, hang on.
My
There
short
we go.
stubby T-Rex arms.
Right. Damage is
D10 if you're two-handing it, which I'm assuming you always are.
of kills. D10.
Unlike you must declare your sword.
Yes.
That's a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus.
You rolled a 7.
I rolled a 7.
So add your rage, which is 2, and add your strength, which is 4.
4, so that'd be 4 and 6, 7, 13.
13.
That's better.
Lucky for some.
Oh, we got it.
Better. Right. Cool. That's your bonus action. That's your main action,
Yeah.
Erevan.
So
I don't know what to do. I'm really...
And how is that different from normal?
Well, I was going to add,
I'm
after
sorry.
I've lashed
Hellish
out,
rebuke from where I'm standing.
after I've lashed out and I've done the damage on him, I'm like, is he just going, "Argh," or
He's
is
sort of
he
he's
kind of
hacked
turn
at
around
the
and
tree.
goes?
At this, he sort of turns around to faces you, looks up.
Yeah. And I say to him, "Stop! I don't want to kill you."
When he opens his eyes again, they're just glowing red,
Oh, he's dead.
like almost like red hot flames, almost
It's
the
a
same
red
color
job.
as his mohawk.
Wow.
And as I see this, I go, "Henrikai! I may have made a mistake.
But it
Little help."
But it is Erevan's turn.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, how far can I move?
You can move 30,
Excellent.
which is 6 squares.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So I, from a distance, I'm presuming with my excellent vision as an Astari, I can see the glowing eyes.
Yep.
Okay. So at that, when I witness that happening, when he turns around, I get the impression that he's not necessarily doing the right thing. So sprinting forwards, Erevan goes as far as he possibly can, skids to a stop, and at my newly heightened level, I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast, but now I have 2 beams instead of 1.
Oh dear.
Yes.
So you make 2 attack rolls.
I make 2 attack rolls
Yes, he
with
does.
my Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do? Double beam.
And I'm going to fire...
he finger guns it. So.
Yeah, both of these beams are going to go towards this glowing dwarf.
Okay.
Okay, that's a 5 and a 9. But, so that's...
Plus your proficiency and charisma.
okay, so we've got...
So it should be plus 7.
4, 5, 6, 7, yes. So 16 and a 12.
Okay, one of the beams hits, the other one sails harmlessly past.
Yes. So obviously with this newfound ability to fire 2 beams, everyone's still getting used to this new power. Is it
D10?
D10.
D10 plus 4 because you have the agonizing blast invocation.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Total?
7 total, yes.
Cool.
You both did 7 wounds. Consistency is key, my friend.
Anything
Yes.
else?
Yeah.
Nope.
Cool.
Nope. At that point, yeah, yeah.
Griffin?
Oh, so Ornelli's after me, is she? Ornelli is after me. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Griffin, how long does it take to load a crossbow?
So basically, when the reload, not necessarily action, but you can only ever make 1 attack with a crossbow because it has the reload property.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you described yourself reloading before we got into
He
this
did,
combat.
yeah. So you have it prepped before I asked for initiative.
Right. Sure. So I shot once and then I said, and I started to reload. How far can I move now?
So you can move 30, but remember, as a rogue, you can dash as a cunning action.
Yeah, and
which
then
is a bonus
I
action.
can still attack.
You can still attack because it's using your bonus action rather than your normal action, which would be to attack.
Yeah, exactly. So I can do that. Right. So I can move 60 essentially.
Essentially.
Yeah. Right. So before Griffin, Griffin kind of he loads it, but then realizing that this guy's an absolute tank, he just kind of slings it back on his shoulder, and he turns to Ornelli. He says, "Let us be clear. At the moment, he is a threat. If you become a threat, then the same thing will happen to you."
Okay, that cut. You've got 6 seconds to talk in combat. So
Okay.
you're having a full-on conversation. It's not going to work.
Okay.
Because at this point she'll just go, okay, and have her turn.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
What if
well,
he just says all that, but with a look?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Implied.
I say that all with a look. And then I charge over here. 1,
That was
2,
just suggestions, by the way.
3, 4.
Just something along the lines of he's a threat for now, and then.
Okay, so I can't actually even get to him.
Really?
No, because it's 10 foot a square or 5 foot.
It's 5 foot per square, so you
actually,
can
then
move
I
12
can-
squares.
I can get to him. Okay, cool. So then, Griffin gives his sterny look, which actually says a monologue.
A 17-minute monologue.
A 17-minute monologue.
fancy.
She knows not to muck about. But anyway, so Griffin runs over. So as he's running, he pulls the Dawn of Hail, shing, and then he gets down low and he skids. You've kind of seen this move before. He skids and he puts the hilt of one hand behind it, kind of holds it like this, looks for that gap in the armour, sees it, punches him straight through the guts.
I heard your theme tune when you were doing that as well. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's a very good theme tune.
I'm
You are
raging too,
raging,
don't
so
forget.
I will be getting advantage on this attack.
Okay.
Is that right? Because he's raging?
Are you? Is he within 5 foot of Luco?
Yes.
Yes.
Then
now.
yes, you would get advantage.
Yeah, we'll get
Rage
advantage.
away.
Cool. So I roll a 6 and a 17. So plus my dexterity.
It's a hit.
It's a hit, I'm assuming. Yeah, cool. So then I'll get 2d6 plus a d8 damage.
3d6 now.
Oh. 3d6 now.
Level 5.
Oh!
Level 5 is
That's
powerful.
incredible.
That was the
Wow.
point, actually. Luco, you need to make a second attack. You're level 5, you get 2 attacks.
I'm going to have a second attack.
Yeah.
Do that first.
Should we roll that now?
Do
Okay,
it
fine.
quickly. But this is not with advantage because you can only recklessly
We
roll
attack
your
once.
first.
Yeah, that's right. Cool.
So,
Alright.
very quickly.
So sorry.
That's alright.
It's
been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an 11, which becomes an 18.
So that's another hit. So another
Nice.
D10. D10 because you've got magic spell.
So 3 plus the rage bonus, which becomes 6.
3 plus 2 for rage plus 4 for
Oh, no, yeah.
strength,
So-
so 9 damage.
9 damage.
Cool.
Cool. 9 damage.
So your 3d6 sneak attack, because he is adjacent to an ally.
Okay, very good.
And clearly distracted.
Okay, so I roll 2, 3, 6. So I've got 9, 14
Wow.
in total. Now, I can't re-roll damage dice with luckies, can I?
No, you cannot.
Okay, so actually, he got away quite lightly. Yeah, that's still
devastating.
14.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I've just gone punched into him.
So good.
All right.
And I've used my bonus action, so I cannot disengage.
As a swashbuckler, when you attack someone, you basically automatically disengage against that creature.
Okay, so
How many squares of movement do you have left?
Well, I moved 6, so I've got 6.
You've got 6 squares that you can move away.
Okay,
Basically.
cool, very good. So he'll just go boom, boom, boom. Cool. So if he wants to move out and attack me, you'll get an attack of opportunity against him. Right. I'm finally understanding the rules of my character. It's only taken 19
Episode
sessions.
19.
Ornelli, as you sort of run off and you sort of glare and mutter under your breath.
There was no muttering, it was just a glare after that.
Okay,
I think,
okay.
yeah.
She sort of just, at this, she essentially just calls out as you run off. Just like, just stop him from destroying the tree! And she runs, takes a leap. I'm not sure about her.
Whoa!
And she
She just did
in
a
the
full
air,
flip.
a puff of magic and smoke, and she turns into this eagle that soars towards the tree, and sort of moves into the branches of the tree.
Sick. Into the branches of the tree.
I'm very concerned.
Okay, so and that's all she does?
For now, yes.
Brilliant.
Amrikai, you're done.
Marvelous.
Okay. So Anrakai, it was already running towards him at this spot. The reason why his pace slowed and others went ahead of him is he pulls out the potion of steel skin,
Yes.
uncorks it, drinks it as he's running.
You
and I'm
need to
gonna
drink
use that
it
as
out
an
your
action
vial.
Surge.
Use the vial, otherwise it doesn't count.
It's
Just pretend.
Yeah! They smash it on the ground.
and I'm going to use that as an action surge.
Okay, so you've actioned and action surging.
Yes.
Okay.
And then this just happens on my sprint towards him. Alendir appears in his hands because it can literally.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6.
6. Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 6. And Alendir appears in his hands, and he screams, "Ah!" and then does 2 strokes. One cuts through his knee joint, right through his leg.
Yes.
And then he sort of flips up into the air. Then Alendir comes around and skewers him into the ground.
And you've also got grey skin, right?
Yeah, your skin has gone sort of metallic-y, and your initiative has dropped by 1.
Yeah.
But you've got 10 temporary hit points and 1 extra
Plus 1
armor
AC as well.
Now, I don't think we've used temporary hit points yet. Essentially, temporary hit points, they don't stack. So if there was ever anything that gives you, say, you gain 6 temporary hit points, you use whatever's highest that you currently have. They can't be healed. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
So you essentially have 10 extra health, like almost ablative wounds.
Sure.
Nice.
And
Save your
because
protocols.
I'm 5th level, I attack twice. Hence
You do
why
indeed.
The double description, and I have advantage
You
because he's
do
raging.
indeed have advantage.
Critical.
Epic.
Right, 15 is the first roll, plus
It's a
3,
hit
4, yeah,
With
okay.
all your stuff, yeah.
And shall I do the damage for that first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So 2d6.
Two.
What's your strength? 18?
Yes.
Yeah, so that would have been 15 plus 7.
Yep.
And then
2d6 damage. I get a 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus 4 is 13 points of damage.
Yep.
Nice.
And then your second
And
attack.
then the second attack, I roll a 6 plus.
Wait, you've got a... Have you rolled the 2 attacks to hit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, he's got advantage because obviously he's next to him.
Oh, right, I'm with you.
Yeah. So 6.
It'll be plus 7.
Yeah, 10, 11, 12, 13 is my second attack.
That one misses.
Okay.
So you sort of carve in at the legs, but he doesn't. You almost move through to do the stabbing motion, expecting him to topple, and he just almost roots to the ground. Like you can see his feet just drive into
Imagine
the mud.
Amrakai thinks it's going to amputate, but actually it sticks in there because it gets caught in his armor, and that's how much thick muscle sinew he's got. And Amakai's eyes widen as he looks into these glowing red orbs of the dwarf, and that's it.
So within the trees, as the eagle form of Ornelli is amongst the branches being attacked and accosted, as is Reva, these tree branches swaying around, you hear a splash and a figure almost dropping down into the valley, just in the corner of and past the tree. Another one to your right, and another one to your left.
Oh, right.
As the tree creatures
good.
almost throw themselves into the valley.
Very close to me.
Wonderful.
Marvelous.
Hate tree creatures.
Almost in response to this, the tree shakes again, and where is my dice? Excellent. Erevan, could you make a strength saving throw for me, please? As beneath you, the ground begins to writhe and shift, and you see tree branches and roots emerge from the marsh, coiling around your legs.
This hasn't gone well so far this session. Okay, I have no modifier for strength, so that is a 10.
Okay.
Oh no, sorry, 11.
11. Okay. Thanks, pal. My point still stands. The tree, these roots enwrap around you, and you are restrained.
Aww.
So when you are restrained, your speed becomes 0. Your attack rolls against you have advantage. Attack rolls that you make have disadvantage, and you have disadvantage on any dexterity saving throws you may be required to make. You are able to attempt to break this at the beginning of your turn by making another strength saving throw, essentially to wrench yourself free.
And can anyone else?
They can assist you as well if need be.
I'm sure Amakai will be
The dwarf
right on
then,
that.
staring down or up at Luca, as the case may be,
Here we go.
swirls his axes round in a cross-cut motion and swings them out towards you. Now this will be with advantage because you were reckless.
Attack recklessly.
So with his double-bladed axe head, misses, and with his secondary axe, this one will indeed hit you. So as you deflect the blow of the flaming axe, his second one comes up in an undercut, almost moving to disembowel you.
Now, what did I have resistance to again when I'm raging?
Piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning.
Right, piercing, slashing. Okay, so
You will take 5 points of damage, so half that to 2. As you round out. Almost seeing this, he sort of nods in response, looks out amongst the 4 of you, and has seen the eagle fly into the trees, and he yells at you. He's like, "If you let her do what she needs to do, then this will be the end of all of us!"
Oh, come on, man.
But Luca, it's your turn.
Ooh, is that what he says?
Now I'm back. Oh, God.
Oh, it's controversial!
I don't know what we should do.
yeah,
I say we kill them both.
Be a safe bet.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really conflicted.
Well, you can't kill the eagle lady.
I shout, "Explain yourself!" And then have my blades still ready to defend, but he can see that I've raised it. I've stayed it from attacking.
Okay. But it is Luca's turn.
Yeah. I kind of call back to him, what is she doing? Probably aware that there's no time for him to explain. I just got to, there's no time. So after he does that, he goes, "Rah!" and just kind of lashes into him again.
Oh, he's going to attack him again.
Alright. Yeah. I am back at 2 attacks. I'm not going to attack recklessly this time.
Okay.
Because, so first attack. That's a 15 plus my 7.
That'll be a hit.
22. Should I do the damage first?
Sure.
Okay. 28. Oh, but goodness me.
How?
Twice.
I don't know.
Twice. There's walls on it.
There we go. Ooh, that's a 1
that's
plus
what you
6 plus 7. Second attack. That is a 9. That becomes 16. That's a hit, I imagine.
Yeah.
Damage. That's an 8.
Okay.
Becomes 14.
Wow.
Well, yeah. Well, he's
He's
dead.
definitely going to
Pretty
listen
powerful.
to us now.
Yeah.
He's just been speared.
He, as you sort of you drive the spear into his gut, and he sort of goes down to his knee. He's just like, he looks up at you all, or he looks up at you specifically. He just goes, "Blasted fools," and spits blood into your face.
He's not saying anything. He's not telling us.
He's
He's just been... Stop being so vague!
Erevan.
oh come on.
You can make a strength check to see if you break out of the vines.
I'm just
And
paying
Can I
up.
then do something after?
Yeah. That's not an
sick.
action. This is just.
Is this on
something to break
a
out.
20?
On a D20? Yeah, normal strength.
That is a 10.
Okay, you are still restrained, but you are able to act as normal.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So I can attack?
Yeah, but it will be with disadvantage.
Okay, fine. So, feeling a little bit confused about the whole situation, I'm going to fire...
Run away.
What?
Well, he can't. He's restrained.
Yeah.
Try to run away.
I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast on the tree closest to Griffin.
Okay.
So this is disadvantage, right?
Yep.
So I'll do this twice. I'll do two
Twice,
d20.
pick the lowest.
So I've got a 16 and 18, so I'll take the 16.
Yeah, that's a hit.
That's a hit. And the second one, that's a 10 and a 7.
Plus your charisma and proficiency on
Which is 7, so 14.
that is also a hit. So both of them hit.
I hit twice.
Mm-hmm.
I need another d10. That's an 8. It's a 10. Okay, so this is both the creature closest to you. Look out, Griffin. So that's a 7 plus charisma, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus 7, 8, 9. What? 7, 8.
Right, so you add 4 for each individual beam that hit, because you add your charisma bonus to each ray of Eldritch Blast that hits. So you're doing 8 plus 2d10.
Okay, so that's 17 points of damage in total.
Okay, cool, thank you.
You rolled a 3 and a 7. That's 18 points.
It's 18 points of damage in total. That's mathematics.
I'm very stressed! Alright, cool. Griffin, your turn.
Just bear in
So
mind.
she's just flown into the tree.
Mm-hmm.
She's just in. Can I see her in there?
You can
been
see
hearing,
like
like,
the sort of like
flailing and
movement
stuff.
of like these blue and sort of pale white feathers flapping around within the tree.
You do have a crossbow.
Explain this tree to me. Is there branches and things I could climb up if I wanted to?
You're gonna climb the tree of
I'm
death?
just asking the question.
You could climb the tree if you wished.
I could climb the tree if I wished. You make it sound like it might be a bad idea.
Up to you.
It's interesting, isn't it? Griffin goes after her. He goes up after the tree.
Alright.
But now the group is doing... Oh, God.
So Arakai sees you run past him, and instead of attacking the dwarf, latch onto the tree and start skimpering up it.
Yeah.
Alright, proceed.
Okay, so up I go. I mean, I can't really move him up there.
It's controversial.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then so yep, so you'd have alright, cool. Make an athletics check for me, please.
Okay. So roll a 13. I believe I have athletics. Oh no, I have acrobat taken. So, but athletics is dexterity, I believe.
Nope.
No?
Strength.
It's strength, is it?
Mhm.
Okay, so it's just a 13.
Okay. You haven't got any minuses to strength?
Oh, I get 1 minus, yeah.
So it's
So
a 12.
it'd be a 12.
Cool. You climb up you reach about halfway up the tree. Because your climbing speed, it will be halved.
Yeah.
But you are dashing, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. You see through the branches, you see this blue and white eagle clawing at these fronds that almost look like skulls. They're fleshy, skull-shaped, hanging from from some of the branches. As she sort of claws, grabs one. Could you?
Okay.
You need to do nothing as you see this tree branch swing towards you, and you sort of almost roll out of the way, hanging on to the side of the tree.
Yeah.
Looking back up, you see the bird form of Ornelli plucking this skull-shaped fruit off of the tree branches.
Okay, so at that, Griffin yells out, Ornelli, explain yourself! What are you doing? Ah!
Damn it!
Fair
She's a
enough.
bird. Right
So
now.
I get a bonus action.
So did you dash as a bonus action or a full action?
As a bonus.
Okay, so you get full action to
Cool.
do.
So I pull out my crossbow
Okay.
and I shoot her in the face.
Okay, so you're going to sheathe the Dawn of Hainaut at the same
Include
time?
everyone!
Are you dual? Are you
No,
dual?
okay, no. Just let's all come down here for a second. So no, what I do is I like. Well, she's harvesting the fruit from
Hang
this
on,
thing.
I'm fighting the trees, they're fighting the dwarf, and you're fighting her?
Isn't she in blade striking distance?
No,
No.
too far away. She's a good, about 25, 30 feet away from you, up in the very tops of the tree.
This is very stressful.
It's very. Why would she be harvesting the fruit?
Maybe that's the boneroot.
Well, then she's stealing it. I don't know. I'm very stressed out.
Well, you're up the tree now.
I'm up the tree now. So Griffin draws it, but he's like at the moment he's just moving towards her. He doesn't shoot her.
Okay.
But he's screaming her name. Cool. Because this all seems very fishy. I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
Alright. As she sort of turns and crawls at you, she then finds her way out of the tree, and with a flourish, she sort of lands down here. She goes to one knee, cracks open the fruit, smears it across her face,
Oh, God.
Should have shot her. Should have shot her right in her dirty throat.
throws the rest of it on the floor, calls out to the three of you that are still standing there. She pulls out a knife. She goes, "You must protect me whilst I conduct the ritual. It's the only way to end the tree."
Oh, God!
Maybe I shouldn't have shot her. I don't know.
Slices her hand, drips the blood onto the marsh ground around her, and almost instantly this sort of blood red writing appears in runic form around her, and she kneels and almost opens her eyes. They're pure white, and
scared.
she's gone into a trance.
I'm scared.
So we've got white versus red.
Can I make out any of the incantation that she's doing?
Make an Arcana check on your turn as an action.
Copy that.
Is it your turn?
Amrika, it's your turn. Did you want to make an Arcana check?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool.
So I because I've said explain yourself, and then what I do, I know this technically isn't part of the action, but I think thematically, just to help the dwarf understand, when he withdraws his spear, and Rakai slaps the shaft of your spear out of the way, and I say, "Hold your weapon," I say to the dwarf, and I turn to her, and I look at exactly what she's doing, and I study.
Arcana check.
20. It is a 20.
Oh! He reads her mind.
You do
It's
not,
a 20!
you do,
She's a demon!
you do not read her mind. What you do see in this blood red writing is that it is it's a very powerful incantation, one of summoning.
Summoning?
Should have shot her.
It's summoning. One of summoning.
Yes,
Not
Summoning good
not,
or
she's
evil?
not
She's
subduing
not banishing.
anything. She's not suppressing anything.
summoning.
Witch!
Oh,
Your
my
time
God.
is over! And Amrakai goes, obviously my turn is, oh actually I can still move.
You can move.
Yeah, he charges her. Obviously I can't attack her, but I disengage from him.
Okay, so he will not make an attack of opportunity at you because you can't disengage. All right.
What? You see Amrakai, he's looked at her, he's looked at the writing, and he's gone berserk.
All right. On the basis of that,
So what is she...
I'm stepping on my headphones.
Yeah, look, they're defending her.
Walks towards you. 15.
Oh, wow, they are defending her.
Moves to there.
Are they defending her?
This one goes to you. No, well, he's coming for you.
Well, he is.
Okay. The two on Anrakai.
Please.
Yeah, both of them fail. I don't even need
Steel
to check your
skin.
armor. Yeah, I don't even need to check your armor class. The one on Erevan, I do have advantage because you are restrained. It's difficult for you to defend yourself.
No, I'm not.
What is your armor class? You got 13 for mage armor, armor of shadows, plus your dexterity of +2.
Dexterity is +2.
15. Oh, this one just misses. So even as these vines are entwined around you,
Yeah.
you sort of almost sort of goes behind you and deflects it off.
Yes, that's what he did say.
That's exactly what
That's
he
what
did.
he said.
Alright.
That's fine. I'll take that.
However, the tree, this time you hear this groaning and moaning once again. The branches begin to blow and sway, and it's at this point now you realise there's no actual wind moving these branches, and the colour begins to drain from the bark, almost moving inwards. You know when you're really cold and your skin goes very, very pale.
Mm.
You hear the bending and splintering of wood, and branches begin to fall down and fall away, or sort of almost wrap around the tree bark. And the water churns in the marsh around Ornelli as these vines form up and form up a barrier around her. Okay. The dwarf, seeing this, just goes, "Enough is enough!" Pushes you out the way. So he's going to move past you. Did you want to make an attack of opportunity against him?
Kill him! I don't think you should, because the tree's protecting her now.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Okay. He moves past you then. Oh, my stubby T-Rex arms. Moves adjacent to Amrakai, swings both of his axes. This time, one of the axes cleaves through one of the trees. As it does so, this white fire leaps in scrawls around it and almost as a stream jumps over to the next one, and they both ignite into flame. The second axe is as a reverse cut. The head just flies off.
Yes.
And this one is removed.
Oh wow.
This one is on fire.
You need a weapon.
Luca, your turn.
Oh cool. What was the name of the girl we're trying to save?
Ornelli.
No, Ornelli is the one inside there.
Yeah,
Joanna. Why you are here trying to find this sap.
Right, cool. So the dwarf, as he's kind of shoved Luca out of the way, Luca kind of loses his footing for a second and kind of just falls to his knee for a quick sec, and he kind of has to catch where he is, and then he kind of looks up at the tree in a split second. He just kind of says under his breath, "Joanna." So what he does, Luca starts to rush towards here. Let me just count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh yeah. So Luca's going to start rushing for his life up towards this this tree man over here. But as he does so, if I may, on the way, he kind of slides past this tree, very quickly unleashes and scabbards his dagger.
This will be a full action. If what I think you're doing is harvesting the sap from it, this is going to take a lot longer than 6 seconds.
Right. So I can't.
I got that, mate. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I don't want to interrupt too much, but I'm assuming what you're doing is, as you go past, you cut it open and harvest some sap. It's not going to happen in 6 seconds.
Okay. So you're saying you've got this covered?
Yep.
He's in the tree.
So you're in the tree, of course.
I had
so,
2 plans.
Yeah. So never mind. So in that case,
2 more than us.
So what does actually happen then is I do all that. I go, "Diana," and then I realise that Luke. What? Joanna, sorry.
Yeah, she was our princess.
She was, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Joanna.
We're talking about Joanna, who's someone entirely different.
Yeah. Joanna. So, and then he looks up the tree as if to start to go for it, but then he sees Griffin in the tree, and and then he looks towards these tree men over here. So what he does...
Griffin batting away trees, just go, "Off you pop!"
He heads to this guy.
Yes! Save me, Luco!
And then he rushes towards it, still raging.
Attack recklessly! Yes! Yes! Get it! Attack recklessly! Kill it!
So first reckless attack.
That was a good shot.
Yeah.
It went into my cup.
But, oh yes, I roll a 19, which becomes a 26.
26 is
Very
instant
good.
death.
Yeah, I heard that. I read that somewhere.
It's not a thing.
Ah,
Definitely not a
So,
thing.
roll for my
Monster
damage on the
95.
first one, which is a 7 plus 6 becomes 13. First attack done.
Second attack.
Second attack, which is not an advantage. That's a 13. Plus 7
Plus your bonuses,
becomes...
that'll be a hit, yep.
Yep,
So
excellent.
plus 720 is a hit, definitely.
Yep. Damage is a 5. It becomes 11
Six,
points of
11,
damage.
Very nice.
Firewood.
Yeah, still
Damn it.
still
Okay.
kicking. Ereban! Do you wish to attempt to break out of the roots and whatnot?
I do.
I will.
I
don't.
No, I don't. It's an 8.
Yeah, you're still restrained.
Okay, that's sad. So I get disadvantage if I use Eldritch Blast when I'm that close to someone.
But you're
right?
also at disadvantage for attacking anyway because you're restrained, so you
double
don't get double disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
That's good.
What is the rule of the Totem of the Wolf, Luco?
The Totem of the Wolf.
I'm sure it's only melee attacks, isn't it?
Let me check. I think you're right, but let me check.
Now,
I got this
these
bookmark.
trees,
Mm-hmm.
inside the
Totem of the
trees, are a humanoid form.
Inside
Yes.
these trees.
Yes, melee attack. So if you attack with Eldritch Blast, it'll be a disadvantage. If you attack with melee attacks, it'll be normal because he's giving you advantage, which counteracts the disadvantage of the restraint.
Right. But are they classed as humanoids?
They are classed as aberrations.
On melee attack rolls, yes.
Ah.
And it is melee attack rolls. Yeah. I imagine you just looked that up as well.
Yes, I did.
Okay. In which case, still being entwined by the branches there, I'm just going to attack the tree.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
Sure.
That's
So
what
this
I'm
will
gonna
be
do.
normal because you have advantage, which counteracts the disadvantage.
Yes, this is plus my charisma.
Yeah, because you're a Hexblade.
It's cocked. It's a
How?
double of 7 and 17.
It's only on the D20s that they can get a bit funny.
Okay,
I'm
roll
going
it
to do it
again.
one more time. That's a 10 plus my
7.
charisma. What?
Plus 7.
Plus
Be
7.
plus 4, plus 3.
17.
17, that's a hit.
Yeah! He's dead now! I killed him!
I'm assuming you're two-handing it, because you
I'm
didn't say.
I'm two-handing it.
Yeah, you didn't say, but
I am
D10.
two-handing it, yep. So
D10
that's
plus 4.
8 plus 4, that's 12 points of damage.
Alright, still kicking.
No, he's not.
Yeah. Definitely is.
Wow.
Griffin!
Right,
That's
so
one tough tree.
Griffin, after witnessing all this, like he kind of watched her and kind of held for a moment, and then he just goes, but realizing where he is. So, here's a question. We need the bone root. What do I know that to be?
You need the sap of the bone root.
Very good. Griffin begins to harvest the sap of the bone root.
Cool. Could you make a athletics check for me, please?
Sure.
Athletics.
Well, he's hanging on to a tree.
Oh, yeah.
There's kind of a bit like...
So I'm assuming so he plunges the sword in there.
Sure.
Cool. So an athletics check is what we need to
Athletics
do
first,
this.
yeah.
Okay. So I rolled a 9, and that's a strength. Is that? So that'd be a -1. So I'm going to use a lucky now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on!
So rolled a 10, so it's one better. Minus that's a 9.
Okay. As you move to plunge the sword in to try and harvest some of the sap of this tree, you do lose your footing as the tree sort of sways a small amount, and you just don't find the purchase to do it. But you are still hanging on.
Okay.
That's good.
So do I get a bonus action?
No. Unless you want to run down the tree.
No, it's, maybe.
You get a bonus action to
Try again.
disengage or dash.
Can
Or hide.
dash further up the tree. I don't know. No, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, Griffin kind of he goes to do it. I like to think maybe when a branch like slaps it out of the way, but then he goes to plunge it in again.
Alright. Enrico?
Right, so she's surrounded by this
These
gate
vines and
with mainly of
mulch,
bark
basically, yeah.
and woods and... Okay. Right, well then in which case, Amrakai, as he makes it there, he swings Alendi around and it suddenly ignites in flame. From the, almost just from the base of the blade right to the tip. And swings around, huge smoke trail behind him. and carves into this gate, this barked gate. He's going to cast Firebolt.
Okay.
That's the description.
Sure.
I'm 5th level now, so it does 2d10 damage.
Nice.
Yep,
It's
but
arranged.
this will be at disadvantage because you're at melee range
Right.
with a ranged attack.
And I'm being attacked.
Even the bolts in the sword.
It's flavourful, but clearly you've not used
Risk it!
Well, there is actually a flame blade.
which you do not have yet.
Okay, so
Or does he?
No, he doesn't.
in which case, that's just a description, but I'm
Sure.
not casting Firebolt.
Okay.
Okay, it's just a description, and it smashes into the bark, and this is at advantage because of the description.
No. This can be a disadvantage for your cheek.
20. It's a 9.
Okay. That's it.
So 9 plus 7, we're looking at 16.
And this is attacking the...
What's
Finds
it's
the
attacking.
shield
I'm assuming
thing.
I can't attack her because the shield's in the way, right?
So you're attacking the shield thing?
Yes.
Okay, that's a hit.
Yeah. Okay. Damage. 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 4 is 13.
Okay, cool. You sort of hack away,
Yeah.
bits of tree and bark fly everywhere, and this sort of horrible smelling, almost like sulphur, begins to kick out from this spray of rotten material, but you're not breaking through.
So it's still completely
Yeah, it's
there.
packed.
And I'm not
and
able to attack her, am I?
You can't see her.
So I can't, yeah, she's just encased in this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Tough. And there's no, like, in D&D there isn't a dispel or anything, is there?
There is, but you probably don't have it.
It's a spell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
Your second attack.
Second attack, yeah.
Yeah, do it again!
That is very
Break it open!
Okay, this time it's a critical. It's 13,
It's
which
a hit.
plus 7 is 20.
But not a critical.
No.
So it's a hit.
Double 6. Yep. Right, it's a 6 and a 1. I re-roll the 1 because the great weapon fighting becomes a 1 anyway. So 7, 11 points of damage.
Okay, yeah, cool. Same thing again happens. Bits of mulch and rotten bark fly up in as you hack away into it. But it's almost as if as you hack, it just begins reforming around any wounds that you cause.
Right, okay. So I didn't really make any headway with that, did I?
Not that you can tell, no.
Okay, fine.
Burn it.
Yeah. Burn it! And the guy says.
As you're sort of hacking away, the one next to you, slightly sort of on flames now from the arcing fire that's come from Reva's axe, hacks away at you. It punches through your armour, but you just feel it scratch against your now greyish steel skin. Doesn't do anything.
Okay.
As Luco's come in to defend your honour, Erevan, the tree creature turns towards him. And again, it sort of rakes at you and you just bat it away.
Good.
Yeah, good work.
You hear 2 more splashes.
No worries.
That's fine. As more of the creatures appear
This
from
is the problem.
the sides,
yeah.
dropping down into the valley.
So I'm just gonna, because I'm not here, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah, sure.
I'm at the tree. Okay. Unless, do you want to replace your guy based on that?
No. I'd if anything, he would just be closer, further up by like a square, but it's fine. I can make a mental note of that.
Cool.
The tree writhes and shakes once again. It lashes out, almost like with a whip crack sound, across Reva's back. But you see this sort of full-on slice across his back, blood trickling down. He just does not even seem to pay any attention whatsoever.
Oh, lad.
At that, he hacks down at the creature that he's fighting. And again, he uses his smaller axe to almost hook round their arms, pulls them down, and with the other axe, slices the arms off, and again, bursts into flames. And it almost... and disappears.
Cool.
Epic.
That's going good.
Luca, your turn.
Excellent.
Kill something, Luca.
So he's just lashing out again at the obviously the tree's engaged with. So the tree's kind of clashed out of him. So he continues, just continues to, and he cuts his head off.
Yes.
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 Yes. Attacking recklessly.
Yes!
Hiya! Yes, 20!
Yes! Hey, Totem! So this will be...
Remind me, please.
Right,
Sorry.
so critical hits, you roll double the amount of damage dice. As a Herian, which is a half-orc in Valtor, you roll an additional damage dice. So you do 3d10. Plus your rage and strength.
Mulch!
Yeah,
Mulch him up real nice.
Yeah.
Oh, there. There's a 3d10
So
coming
3d10
at you.
plus 6.
Oy. So we got 10,
Whoa!
16,
Whoa!
and then we got 23,
Oh!
and then we got 29.
Oh yeah, disintegrates.
Yeah!
Remove that model.
Yeah!
What happens to that tree
Right.
creature?
So what he does, he slices his head off, and his head just kind of goes shoo, like home run out of the kind of clearing. But then just to finish him off, he just kind of follows through with it and just goes right down the middle, and he falls. And then he eyes the other one coming towards him,
Just looks at it.
and on guard kind of thing.
Okay, so you just stay where you are.
I'm saying, no, I can't move or anything.
You
am I?
can move. You haven't moved this turn.
No, I haven't. Can I move after my move?
Yeah.
After fighting?
Yeah.
Why did I know?
Yeah, so
that?
you can intertwine attacks and movement pretty much freely.
Oh, of course. Yeah. No, very good. Thanks for that. So yes, what he does, he on guards and then he starts hurtling himself towards it. That was cool.
That's very cool.
Okay, I want to make my strength saving throw.
Alright, let's see if you break out.
I want to do it. I want to break out!
Damn it!
Roll one.
This is a pesky vine! It's a 4!
Oh my god! It likes my ankles. Okay. So I'm still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Do some arms.
Arms up. No.
Do you have any fire spells?
I do have
Put the fire spells on the woman!
I need to be attacked to do my fire spells.
What? That
they
makes
need to
no
attack
sense.
me. The other one's necrotic. No, I'm
Someone hit it.
necrotic damage. Do I go for the shield of trees, or do I?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So trying to take a step forward, Erevan realizes he is still very much stuck where he is. However, with this, whilst being stuck, he feels like he's firmly rooted to the ground and takes a particularly large swing towards the shield of vines that is engulfing.
You can't move when you're restrained.
This is I'm just making a point that he's doing a big swing. It's gonna help my dice rolling.
You're just like, I swing at the thing. It's like, but you're nowhere near it.
Just shut up! He swings with all of his might towards the shield of branches. He does 2. Am I at disadvantage?
Yes, you are.
Okay. He does 2.
If you weren't, you definitely are now for telling
does
the DM to shut up.
Two swings towards the shield that Amrakai is trying to cut down. So the first one is a 2. Okay, that's good. And the second one, I rolled a 20 and a 6. No! Do I get anything for rolling a 20?
It is a 20! He rolled it!
No.
I need to get out of this.
Just sit
So
there.
what did you roll total? You rolled a 13 on the second one, and the first one you rolled
A 6 at disadvantage, but I did roll a 20.
Right, so hang on. So your first beam rolled a what? A 6 and a 20.
No, my second one was a 6 and a 20.
What was the first one? I missed it. 2.
A 3 and something.
Okay, so the first one misses, the second one does hit. Though.
Yes!
But it's not.
I kill it!
It's not a critical.
That's
so
fine.
this is at the shield of viney stuff, right?
The shield of viney stuff.
Oh, the shield of vine.
That's a 2. Plus 7, 7, 8, 9 points of damage.
All right, cool. Griffin, your turn.
Well, what happens when it hits it?
This blast of blacky silver energy streaks forward, impacts the vines. You hear this splinter of wood. It almost drains the moisture from some of the vines, and it sort of cracks, and you can see inside through this gap of vines. You can see Ornelli in there in this praying ritual pose. She's being encased in vines.
You hear. She's revealed.
Oh,
But it's Griffin's turn.
So I'm
That's
going
what you
to. Okay,
hear.
so Griffin, who he kind of stumbles back like, and he's holding on.
Yep.
So he gets the Dawn of Hainault, and what he does is he just slams it in as deep right down to the hilt, and just goes "Rah," and pulls out a huge chunk of this tree, and then he gets a vial. He had an empty vial in his bag. He just had one, and he puts the syrup in there, and then he keeps it. That's what he does.
Alright, cool. Make a athletics check first.
What can it be? Acrobatics?
No.
I'm very good at acrobatics.
It sounds quite acrobatic.
It does, doesn't it? All right. Oh, I dropped it. It was a good roll.
You did a rob.
Oh, it's all happening. Okay, so I roll a 15.
Nice! Cool. Now make an attack roll, please.
Stress.
Come on, man.
So much stress.
You need to get it.
I rolled a 2.
Oh!
I think I have one lucky feet left.
Use a lucky!
I'm going to use it.
Do it for Joanna!
I'm gonna use it.
Do it for Joanna!
Use it!
Ah!
She's dying!
For Joanna. I rolled a 4. No! Plus 7 is 11. It's a tree. Surely I hit a tree at 11. You've got to be kidding. I'm holding it.
Do not pierce the bark of the tree.
I've no more luckies left.
What's wrong with you?
What do you mean, what's wrong with me? It's a tree. I should just get in there. Also, I'm magical for, don't forget.
If you hit.
Magical.
Yeah, but, you know.
I'm magical.
The sword's
Don't forget, he's
magical.
magical.
The sword is magic.
Yeah, if you hit. But you didn't. You didn't pierce the bark.
Don't want to play anymore.
But it's okay, he's magical.
Whatever.
Anything else?
It's just a silly game.
Someone kill something.
No.
Amrika, your turn.
Okay,
That's
Amrakai
such a cool plan. I just need to hit it.
disengages. He's seeing this, and he can see like you've opened up a small hole in this with your magic.
You're listening to Augur?
No, I do not acknowledge that thing. But nonetheless, Amrakai disengages, and his sword disappears out of his hand as he puts two pans together, and out of the palm of his hands, two bolts of fire come shooting out into the cage. I have disengaged.
Alright, so
But she's not
are you
attacking, so-
disengaging or are you just moving away?
I'm moving away so I don't have to cast Firebolt with
Because if you disengage, you wouldn't be able to cast anything because that's a
Okay.
full action.
Yes.
So you're just moving away.
Moving
That's
away.
fine. Nothing is there to opportunity
attack.
attack you. This
Cool.
is
So
just a
basically,
shield.
I just take 5 first step back.
Okay.
Okay. So I now cast.
Sure.
The casting. I roll a 10. I'm proficient, so
Yep.
+3, so that's 13. Plus my intelligence, which is +2.
That's a hit.
It's 15. It's a hit. Right. It's because I'm level 5 now. It's 2d10 damage.
2d10 damage.
20 damage, please.
Flat 2d10. And this is going into the cage, you say?
Well, okay. Can I hit her? Because you keep specifying into the cage, but I've asked
You
twice.
said
and you
into
said
the cage, but there's now an opening.
There's an opening.
right. But
Yeah,
is
nice, I
that
do it.
was that opening just a description, or can she be attacked?
If you want to attack her, you can.
Yeah, I mean, if I could attack her, I would stick the sword through that opening and then stab it into her head.
But you're gonna kill her with a firebolt.
Okay, I'll do the firebolt on her and then I'll stab her in the head.
Next turn.
Fine.
2d10 damage.
20 damage.
Oh yeah.
2 damage.
Come on.
Right, 2d10. Here we go. Double 10. Right, we've got a 10,
Yeah.
and the other one was literally off the. Right, 13.
Alright, cool. This fireball, almost from the tips of your fingers, grows in size almost as it hits the inside of this opening. Goes in. You hear this horrific screeching and a crackling of wood splintering and burning. The tree itself begins shaking violently. Griffin, can you make a athletics check?
Oh man.
I swear to God.
What are you doing climbing trees
I rolled
anyway?
an 18 that time.
Yeah, you're fine. You hang on. You hang on.
Hang on, I grasp it.
You hear this blood curdling screech from inside. As you peer inside, you see the flames dying down. You see the vines crawling around Ornelli's face. She sort of flicks a look out of you, one of terror, and then these vines pierce into her, down her throat, into her eyes, her ears, and the screams stop.
Is she dead?
Well, we'll come to that in a moment. The tree creatures that have just joined, seeing this, move over to you, and the one attacking Luco misses, and the one that you've sort of just enraged, it seems. Yeah, it's a good thing you drank that potion. They both, again, you see this creature moving towards you. You almost just bash it away with your gauntlet.
Yeah. I just backhand it.
Yeah. Whatever. The tree again begins to writhe and shake, but not nearly as much as you have encountered previously whilst you've been up there. Not that you guys have noticed as much. Despite the vines, you hear this gurgling and this screech, and a torrent of blood shoots out of the opening that Erevan made, spraying you in the face as these vines crush down.
On where she was?
Yeah.
So they all sort of...
How many points of damage does she take?
That's what we call a critical.
I think that's what we call permadeath.
Oh, you
Nothing
paused.
else happens.
Okay, you
Reaver
paused a long time there.
Seeing, yeah, right. I was waiting for more reactions of you guys.
I'm in the tree. I don't know what's going on.
Reaver again hacks down at the one that's moved past you. Both of them hit. The creature takes massive axe blows to the back as he sort of joins battle with you. Again, fire erupts and crawls along it, but it still goes. Luco, your turn.
Right. Jeez. Okay. Well, I didn't see any of this, so he's just engaged with the tree. This tree guy just kind of lashed at him in the first time. What he does is he kind of takes a couple of steps back to dodge, and then he kind of goes, kind of swooshes his Kaitega around, unfurling the red ribbon. And what he ends up doing is, almost like a whip, he ends up kind of wrapping, this is just a description, I mean base-to-base contact, doesn't matter. Wrapping the red ribbon around kind of his waist, and then he kind of, come here! Yes. With his first attack, he pierces it right through the sternum,
Yes.
and then unfurls it again, and another slash right through the chest. I can imagine almost like it's like slash, and the tree kind of like, and then
Yeah. Timber.
I'll recklessly attack again.
Yes!
First attack. 5 and a 7, not great. So 5 and a 7 becomes 7 and 7, 14.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Oh goody! Thank goodness. Huzzah for that. 2 plus 6 becomes 8.
That's a no. So the first one hits.
Okay, cool. So, oh no, that was damage roll. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So that's 8 damage.
8 points
Okay,
damage.
cool.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's
Right.
fine.
That's good.
Second attack. Ooh, that's better. That's a 16.
Yep, that's a hit.
That's a hit. Okay, cool. Damage. 6, 12.
Cool.
Boom.
Alright, still standing.
Yeah, fine.
Anything else?
No, I'll stay engaged.
Erevan,
Right.
are you going to break out?
Yeah, so realising that the tree is weakened, he gives an almighty heft with his foot and breaks free on a 19.
Yeah!
Just like
Freedom!
the episode.
Yes! He
Right,
does indeed break free.
I do break free. So what is she representing now?
Oh, she's got. Well, she's just where that shell of vines.
Is the
were.
shell still there?
Yes.
Can I move around the shell?
If you want to go up to the shell, yes.
Can I move around the shell?
If you want to go around the shell, yes.
Hang on.
What's he doing?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 5, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm gonna run around. I'm gonna run past the shell.
Okay.
I'm gonna run past the shell.
Yeah.
It's actually. Puts you in a shell.
Breaking free. Runs past the shell. Runs past
shell.
the shell.
Yes.
Grasping onto it to stop him from moving, he sort of swings around, plants Aura into the ground, and casts Arms of Hadar.
On the shell and Anrakai and.
No, because it's a 10-foot radius, so I miss Anrakai. I'm not fussed about the dwarf right now. I mean, it's a 10-foot radius. I can't hit Amrakai.
Yeah, you can't hit Amrakai.
Yes, but
And
I
he
can hit the
also
other
can't
two.
hit the dwarf from that angle, but he will hit.
He would hit the dwarf because...
tree now. He wouldn't.
Yeah, 10 foot you would.
I hit the dwarf.
Yeah, you would hit
It's the sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Oh my god! What have we become?
Right, now, with... need to get my notes up because I'm a higher level than I want to go.
I believe it's a constitution saving throw.
It's a constitution... No, it's a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, cool. We'll both fail.
You both fail.
The dwarf passes.
The dwarf passed... Oh no, hang on. Hang on. Just, a strength saving throw.
The dwarf passed.
Yes.
Even more then.
Yeah.
And the shell and the tree creature both still failed.
They both still failed.
Yes.
Excellent. So it's 3d6 necrotic damage.
This is cast as a level...
This is second level. Am I second level?
I think you might have level 5 spells at this point.
Level 5!
Level 3 spells.
That's 27 d6s!
I think it might be level 3 spells because you're at level 5. That's what I meant.
So it's...
yes, these are level... This is a level 3 spell now.
level 3.
Yes.
When you close to this, right, so it's... Yeah, it's 3d6. 3d6. Do I do one roll for... Yeah. So after second level...
So for each... using a spell slot of second or higher, the damage increases by 1d6 for each slot above first. So this would be 4d6 damage.
4d6, that's what I said. Do I do one roll for all of them?
One roll, it applies to everything.
One roll to kill them all.
And in the darkness, bite.
So 6, 11, 12 points of damage.
Which is halved on the dwarf.
Which is halved on the dwarf.
Good thing too.
So that's 24 plus half of 12, 6,
Okay.
30 points of damage in total.
30?
Well, across the three
Oh.
people.
Right. This one is removed. The shell cracks and rips apart as the black tendrils of your own emerge from the ground and almost rip it apart. Beneath you see this mangled corpse of Ornelli, and she's covered in puncture wounds, bleeding everywhere. And she looks up at you as you've done this.
Hang on, what?
Looks towards the tree. And falls face first.
She said that elven word.
She said it, she
New
said
beginning.
She said new beginning. Should have shot it.
Does she fall dead?
She falls dead.
Good.
Damn, I wanted to kill
Hear
her.
a great crack at the base of the boneroot tree.
Ooh.
Griffin, it is your turn.
So I hear this great crack.
Yep.
That's right.
You notice you didn't get engulfed by Arms of Hadar.
And you notice you're not dead. Pretty fair, right?
Okay. So when I hear can I just
Yes.
ask? I hear a crack.
Yep.
Do I see anything?
You see this, if you look down at the base, you see this crack coming up the tree.
Maybe you should get off the tree. But we need the sap.
Yeah, that's very true.
We need the sap, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if there's a crack in the tree, you know.
Well, no, but obviously this is some sort of doorway that's opening.
Nah,
there's,
yeah,
not
true
gonna
that.
be, there's not going to be any sap in that doorway, let's be honest.
Fair
Griffin will
point.
attempt to harvest the tree one final time.
All right.
Come on.
Athletics check.
Come on.
Athletics check.
I reckon you can do it this time.
Never mind.
Oh.
Oh, Griffin.
I rolled a 3, which would be a 2. So I'm assuming I'm flung from the tree at this stage.
At this point, you're basically having to use all of your strength and footing to just stay attached to it.
Okay. Great.
Anything else?
No.
Ah, cool.
I had a really cool idea, and the dice gods have forsaken me. It was really cool, but anyway, we need the sap. I'm gonna get the sap. There it is. I'm in the tree, having a good time.
Okay,
Can we make a
Amrakai
bard?
sees
Is there a
that-
bard somewhere that can do something?
Amrakai sees her last breath and he hears the words. He hears her words, spits on her corpse, turns to the tree as he hears this horrible splitting in the base of the roots, and then runs to the tree, and on the largest root that he can find leading up into a bark face, he hacks Elendir into it to try and bite in deep to reveal some of the sap.
Alright.
And then he'll try and decant it.
Cool, make an attack roll.
Yeah.
If you do this in one turn...
9 plus 7, that is 16.
That's a hit.
Oh. Do you want me to roll damage?
It's easy when you do it when you've got like footing on the ground.
Oh no, come on. I'm not talking to you again.
2d6 damage?
You don't need to roll for damage.
Okay.
As you hack into it, you sort of wail on it, like full on, as if you are smashing in someone's skull.
Yeah.
And bits of this dark, black, syrupy sap begin to fly out, and it oozes slowly down the side, almost like treacle.
Yeah, I take out one of my empty flasks from a previous tonic, and I start putting it in there as much as I can get.
Okay. The final tree creature slashes again, raking away at Luco. This time he does hit.
No.
And you will take 8 points of slashing damage, which is obviously halved because you are still raging, so you take 4 points of slashing damage.
Forget about it.
The tree shakes and writhes again as this crack slowly moves up it, but then it suddenly... and the branches fall slack, and you can hear the plopping and sloughing sound of bits of bark and trees and branches and fruit falling off of it, splashing into the water below. The dwarf turns round, looks at it. This isn't over yet. He raises his axe into the air. You will all take 1 point of flaming damage.
Hang on, who's all of us?
All of you will take 1 point of flaming damage. This mystical fire just shoots out of the top of his axe and almost sort of rings around your arms, your legs, your body.
Great.
Luco, it is your turn.
Yeah.
So as this kind of, what was it, like a fireball, did you say?
No, just like this small sort of string of red fire just almost wraps and twists and turns around your arms and your legs and your body.
Cool. As I imagine, as it disperses, it kind of goes a bit of like a plume of smoke, and from the tree's perspective, like he kind of loses me for a second in the smoke, but I then just emerge, and I've just come into a huge baseball swing. For description's sake, I'll only just attack in the one big wallop. Obviously, I'm attacking twice though, and the first attack will again be reckless. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it's a 5 and a 12, which becomes 19.
With a 19?
Yep, so damage. That's an 8, which becomes 14.
Nice.
There we go. Second attack. Oh, is an 18.
Yep.
It's a hit, doesn't matter.
Sure.
So take damage. It's a 1, which becomes 7. Please tell me he is firewood.
Please remove that.
Yes!
Yes!
So basically, the impact is so hard. It's almost like he collects in both with the blade, but also with the hilt of the blade as well. So it kind of doesn't just slice, but it also kind of impacts as well, like a club. And he basically just sort of, just like he explodes into tambak, basically. Yeah, and just
feel free to remove that tree creature, but remain where you are. The flames that coursed around your body, and this will apply to all of you now. As they they move around your arms, your legs, you feel them moving over any wounds that you've suffered. You all heal 11 hit points.
What? Heal 11.
As the magical flame sort of seeps into your wounds and cauterizes any damage that you've received. Griffin, you are still up the tree, are you not?
Yeah.
Could you make a
You get nothing.
acrobatics check, please?
Finally!
As the tree cracks and splits into two.
So I rolled an 18.
You swan dive off and land with like
Swan dive.
a marvellous pose
Very
at the
good.
base of the tree. If you could place it within 10 feet of where the... marvellous.
Everybody.
The tree splinters down the middle. The branches all fall away and the tree falls in twain.
We killed the tree.
I get a feeling that's not what's happened.
It's a new beginning.
Peering within the remains of the broken tree, you see a great mound of a sickly, black-red flesh heaving up and down, the same as if they were a dying man struggling for their last breath. From beneath the taut flesh, you can see faces pushing out from beneath, contorted in screams. Strands of sinew and rotten muscle begin to feel out amongst the shattered remains of the bark of the tree, like worms searching for food amongst the deadwood. As this macabre strand meets bark, it snaps it back towards the core, wood pulled towards it. More and more are drawn in, forming lengths, forming around, and the mound rises into the air on long stalks of wood. Soon, it becomes clear that as the bark and the tree begins to move and fall away, it forms into something a little bit more vaguely humanoid. And from within
Oh no.
rises a vast creature.
Jeez.
A torso forms, the branches entwine and snap together, forming arms and fingers. The same bone bark and crimson leaves hang as before, but this time as body and hair, and a great crown of branches juts from a twisted mockery of a face. It towers over you, and what passes for its face turns towards the five of you arrayed before it. Emotionless, glossy black orbs stare straight through you, and a crooked mouth of broken bark snaps open. It raises a taloned hand, fingers jagged and sharp, almost as long as you are tall, and it points towards you all. You hear a snap as the mouth breaks open, and a roar echoes throughout it that seems to make the very air shake and tremble. But you'll have to deal with it next session.
Alright.
Yeah.
Marvelous. Wow. So, basically, a tree demon has just been born.
A treeman, if you will.
Yeah, the worst kind.
Wow.
Excellent.
So, have to wait until next time for another epic battle that will kick off the next session, a boss fight.
Indeed.
A boss fight in episode 20!
A boss fight.
Yeah! Get some criticals!
That wasn't one.
So until next time, folks, we'll see you soon.